Hey, just a heads up that this is a compilation of all the Smart Schoolboy 9 videos I've made on my main channel, Dankishbo, which will be in the description, over the last 18 months, edited down into a convenient package for those who want the full story. Beginning with the first post that started everything.
So here's the post. It stems from where all the greatest things on earth stem from. Reddit. Creepy accounts pretending to be kids. I came across a reel randomly and it's led me down this weird rabbit hole of people using AI or dressing up pretending to go to school. They all seem to have high heels, check images in them. Is this an age play thing or something more sinister? Literally anything helps as I keep trying to look for answers. And then obviously with that text he linked a bunch of pictures of these Instagram accounts that he was talking about. The first of which is an account called Truthsticks11, the second of which is one called GirlChloe12, and the third of which is one called Smart Schoolboy9. Now the first thing that you'll realize immediately is this guy is a nursing Sarah, right? Because this isn't even the half of it. All of these accounts are the same person, right? I'm sure you know that by now, but there are at least 10 of them. Like, these three, nothing compared to, like, the actual scope of what this bloke is doing. One of the other accounts is an account called Abdullah Shakir. Now, this account, just like the others, is run by the exact same guy, but for whatever reason, this one has a profile picture in my mother tongue. Now, my Arabic is a little bit rusty, but I'm reading something very religious, like, to Allah we belong, and through him we shall return. Something like that. I bet you didn't get that from any other video covering this topic. Subscribe to the channel for more Arabic trivia. Anyway, I'm not sure if Truthsticks11 was the first account that this bloke ended up making, but it was the first account that was widely discovered by everyone, and it's also the first account that exhibited the weird behavior that we see in the future. The owner of Smart Schoolboy9 is also the owner of Truthsticks and every other account that has been mentioned, if I haven't already made that clear. But what's interesting is that on the Truthsticks account, he has called himself out on one of his other accounts.
So, that's the account run by a man pretending to be a boy.
So what this is supposed to be is a worrying mother warning everyone on the internet who follows her about fake accounts who are grown men, you know, posing as young boys, right? It's a very dangerous thing. It's something that can absolutely lead to a lot of harm. So wow, what a great woman for warning everyone about it. Wow, what a saint. Because originally, Truthsticks was marketed as a mother and son duo. It was an account where the son would be posted a lot. It was an account where their, like, academic achievements would be gloated about by the mother. They'd post pictures of the kid in school doing tests and shit. But as time went on, the pictures of the boy became more and more distorted, more and more weird, and more fucking insane. Like, what even is this? Now, where it gets deep is that Smart Schoolboy9 soon got comfortable enough and deemed it necessary and appropriate to post pictures of borderline simulated CP, right? That'd be pictures of, you know, children or adults with more skin than anybody should be comfortable with, but they would all have AI-generated pictures of children's faces with the trademarked white face paint on and big bloated red lips. And one thing that brought all of the accounts together and sort of confirms that it's the same person running all of them is the weird obsession with high-heeled mini boots. Like, these are seen in almost every post of his. I managed to find an archive of 5 of these accounts, and it's about 1 gigabyte of just pictures, which might not sound like a lot, but to anyone who knows their shit, that is a fuck ton of pictures. Especially because the pictures are so low quality. They're like slideshows, basically. I'm just gonna click on a random one, and most likely it'll have those high heels in them, right? I'll click on this one, fuck it, and oh, there you go. Look at that, high heels right there. Whilst we're here, we might as well see what he was actually posting on the accounts. Important keys to becoming a distinguished child. What's within wins you more, not just looks and likes. My hair is growing back to how I prefer it for school, but it, nor my forehead that maybe I should show off a bit more, doesn't give me untouchable understanding. It doesn't even make any sense. I don't know what he's trying to show here, but the point is, this is what the mother and son account is supposed to be. It's so shit and so clearly fake, though, that I don't even know if Smart Schoolboy intends to make us believe that this is a real account. I genuinely don't believe that anybody could be so stupid to think that we are this fucking gullible. Even a 10-year-old kid would see that this is a fake account. Here's another one I've just clicked on randomly, and there you go. The high heels are right there, and God, that is such a strange face. And he seems to be giving advice on, like, how to get up in the morning and make the most out of your time and eat your breakfast. It's good advice, to be fair, but it makes me not want to eat breakfast because I don't want to do anything that this fucking freak does. Here's another post that I think is supposed to be from the perspective of the mother, who is giving advice to all of her loyal followers who just love her content so much. This is like the Ace family if it was actually good. Like, this is great advice, wholesome community, looking out for the predators, Fuck yeah! By the way, I've just found a list of all the accounts so I can actually detail to you how many accounts there were. There were TruthSticks11, Stephanie Schooley, Abdullah Shakir, Smartschoolboy9, Mile S9, David London, New Girl 12, and those, just to be clear, are only the ones that we have managed to find. There could be more. And still, it gets even worse, because what's worse than simulated pictures of children? Real ones, right? Well, these accounts would also post real pictures of children every now and then. I'm obviously not going to show these pictures, at least unblurred, and just to be clear, these children aren't put in necessarily sexual situations or, you know, a sexual context, but it is just a straight up picture of a child sometimes, and then every now and then there's a bit of text next to it with some weird shite. We'll show the brunt of that later though, because it does get really important for the story. Anyway, now it's time to really hone in on the titular Smart Schoolboy 9. Why is this account in particular so much more disturbing and popular than all of the other ones? Well, it does something that none of the other ones do, which is actually show the user's face, or, you know, as much as they're willing to show of it. They're in the videos, if you know what I mean. I'll put some footage up now, and as you can see, he's done an IRL version of the white face and the big red lips.
Okay. So.
It's not a pretty thing to look at, to be totally honest with you. He also has a trademark sort of anime finishing special move where he just sloshes his tongue about like some weird fish thing. This is going to become a running theme, but I'm not exactly too sure what he's trying to get across with that. It's very disturbing though. Like, I don't like to hear it. And in some of these videos, he would, you know, actually talk. Like, he'd actually show his voice. He'd put on a voice, but he is using his voice. And if you needed any more evidence that these are all run by the same guy, it's the exact same voice that he put on for the weird British mother.
Hey, let me know if you like school as well. Pretending to be a boy.
A lot of these videos, for whatever reason, were actually filmed in public as well. Like, he actually goes out in fucking Milton Keynes, which is a place in the UK just outside of London, and films these things. Now, this obviously means that there have been public sightings of him, one of which actually dated back to 1999. We'll get back onto that later because it's a very compelling piece of evidence. People also believe that they found his house, but again, we'll get onto that later. Sorry for edging you guys, but we need to stay on topic. It should also probably be noted that these accounts have like this weird sub-community within them that he's created. He's tried to make like an ant farm where they all communicate with each other like they're real actual school friends.
Thanks, cute boy, for coming as invited to my school for this short speech. It was applauded and you said it was a cool surprise as you're shy, but you present really, really well, and your height of 5'3" or 4 with heeled mini boats on is a bonus. This is genuinely like, you know those fake police videos where they try to like get criminals to admit to their crimes or whatever?
Yo, my slime. I know you really don't know Madam like that, but I was wondering if like I could purchase something still, fam.
The running theme in all of them is that this one guy loves to cosplay as school children. Like, even Smart Schoolboy 9, I mean, the fucking account name is Smart Schoolboy 9. It's the most obvious I want to be a student in school again thing ever. Like, what kind of real kid actually names their fucking Instagram account Smart Schoolboy 9? Once again, it makes me question whether or not he actually wants to convince people he's real. I feel like he'd be a little bit less on the nose, right? A bit more subtle with it. I mean, he just seems so outlandish and cartoony and, like, villainous that I can't imagine he thinks anyone's falling for his shtick. The guy also posts pictures of children in, like, actual playgrounds as well. Obviously, if I show the images, they will be blurred. Obviously. Now, there is some speculation as to whether or not he has personally taken these images. I personally believe that he didn't, because there's no evidence to suggest that he did. I mean, a lot of them are so blatantly not taken by him that it's ridiculous to say that he did. I think the Nick Crow video is a little bit guilty of exaggerating things and making it seem as though he is personally taking these images, when a lot of them, to anyone who lives in the UK, are so obviously just like pictures posted on, you know, the public school website to show off a kid doing doing well in fucking mathematics or something. He's clearly just found a bunch of those, slapped them on the account and said, oh, this is my friend David. It's fucking weird. It's really fucking weird. I'm not saying it's normal or good. I'm just saying that luckily and fortunately, I don't think he's actually interacting with children in real life. Now, online is another story because he is absolutely interacting with real children's accounts, which is genuinely disturbing. Won't show the kid, obviously, but Smart Schoolboy has commented, you have some cool shirts, but I have to wear school uniforms to school. It's nice, but casual isn't allowed, and it's quite hot here in the UK. As the month of June suddenly got warmer, the kid responded, your account is fucking terrifying, please delete it. Which is probably the most reasonable thing I've heard so far whilst recording this. Anyway, anime protagonist Smartschoolboy9 responds with, the account name is one of the many perverts following child accounts. Obviously, he's jealous and thinks it's clever to have a shitty profile pic and no posts or private so that he can send abuse to kids. I've modeled cool clothes and have a great life. So he's still doing this. He's still feigning this whole sort of vigilante, I'm here to expose the real predators and I'm just an innocent school child / mother. He does it again here actually with another kid. Another cool post, but be careful with some comments he receives. Sometimes at first there's indications that there's say 12 comments within half a minute of you posting, but then there's only maybe 3 comments there. That's because some bad people have obviously had their comments deleted before you read them. You know, comments by the account from earlier and such, it happens to most boys in our age group, but stay safe, stay cool, don't be dissuaded by creeps. Now this might be some armchair psychology shit, but he's absolutely projecting, right? He is saying to other people what he is doing because perhaps he gets some sort of thrill out of it. I think he gets a genuine thrill out of telling people what he's doing and you know, them not being able to catch him, right? He's getting away with it and he loves that. Do you like school? I do. It is good. I mean, if you ever needed any more proof that this wasn't an actual school child, then there you go. But look, this takes us back to the first Reddit post that, you know, popularized this whole thing, where there was an idea that it might just be age play. The fact that he's commenting on real children's, like, accounts, this is not age play. This is potentially genuine grooming or something more nefarious. To put it lightly, shit's getting real. Like, this is genuinely, potentially, really, really fucking serious. Because even if he's not doing anything, this is a grown man commenting on children's posts pretending to be a child. And that much is undeniable. And that much is fucking grim. But he's not just interested in schoolboys. No. He would never discriminate. He's a fucking creep towards girls as well. In fact, he's made another account as an almost female version of Smart Schoolboy9 called Stephanie Stansfield.
Hi, I'm Stephanie. It's September in the year 2024. So, I'm back at school. So, yeah, bye for now.
This is his main female student persona. Here's a post from the archive where, you know, he posts a poem. He loves poems a lot. We get to that later, but there's a lot of poetry in this account, in this story. And like I said earlier, at the top is just straight up a real picture of a real child. Probably taken from some school website somewhere. Imagine being a parent and finding out that your daughter has been put on one of these fucking degenerate, terrible accounts from a potential predator. It's fucking horrifying. Like, I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. Like, just look at some of these posts, man. It's just weird. Like, he's being creepy on purpose here. Me at school, Stephanie Stansfield, 12, and then 3 more pictures of actual schoolgirls. It's grim. It's horrible. And you know what? I probably shouldn't be certain about the fact that he's not taking these pictures. I don't know for sure, obviously. I mean, realistically, the only way he'd be able to get all of these pictures is if he was actually a school teacher, which, honestly, that's probably worst case scenario. Could you fucking imagine if this bloke was a school teacher? One of the most telling posts on the account is this one where it says, I can't sit still in class. I'm not gonna read that, but you can read it yourself, right? It's basically an undeniable bit of evidence that this is absolutely a sexual thing for him, right? It's not just cosplay. He is an undeniable absolute predator. And you want to know what's really interesting about the poetry that he's posted on the Stephanie Stansfield account? Well, in the year 2018, there was a newspaper on the Streatham News Society with a segment known as the Poetry Corner, where every week or so, they would display a poem written by a student. And one of the students who was featured on this Poetry Corner just so happened to be called Stephanie Stansfield, and she was in year 7, which for the American audience is about 12, 13 years old, which just so happens to be the same age as the character that he is portraying on the account. Hi to the Streatham Society. I'm Stephanie Stansfield and shy. Now this might be speculative. I don't talk to many 12-year-old girls, so I don't know if this is how they actually speak, but it doesn't sound very real to me. It sounds like a 50-year-old trying to write in a way that they believe a year 7 to act, or worst case scenario, how they want a year 7 to act. I've written a poem. I asked my half-brother what he remembers about the area. Then I put my thoughts onto paper. We're not going to read the whole poem, but remember the mention of the half-brother, because this will be vital later on.
There's even one image that David posted on his schoolboy account, which shows another kid that he claimed to be on a playdate with.
Now just to be clear, I'm not throwing shade at Nick Crowley. I think he's a good creator and I think this is a good video. And maybe he doesn't really know for sure, but to me, this seems very obviously edited and manufactured, right? It's a coincidence that he's never actually in the pictures with the children. It's always a picture of him and a picture of a child that has been probably taken from, once again, a school website somewhere. I mean, this picture of Wilfred, as he calls him, is like textbook school website picture. I'm not saying this to defend him, by the way. That is the last thing I want to do. I just want to negate the potential worry that some people have that he is interacting with actual school children on a daily basis, right? I don't think that that's what's happening. But once again, I can't say for sure. That being said, though, I think the most compelling piece of evidence for this not being real is what kind of fucking school would let that bloke in? What kind of school would let him in and around the children taking pictures and shit? Like, what? Is no one actually thinking about the stuff that they're saying? Milton Keynes is soulless, but they're not fucking stupid. What kind of school genuinely sees a large fat man with white face and red lipstick and goes, oh yeah, just let him in, he can talk to Wilfred, get paired up with him, man? Wilfred has been struggling with Pythagoras theorem lately. I'm sure this fucking weird prick is gonna be able to help him out. There's no definitive evidence either way. Who knows? I'm just a wee city guy making an educated guess. Or what I hope is an educated guess.
And sure enough, after connecting a few dots, it would be revealed that this person's actual name was in fact David. David Alter, with the man being 59 years old. At the moment, it doesn't appear that David has any past criminal convictions or documented history of this behavior.
See, this here is probably my biggest issue with the Nick Crow video that got this whole thing so popular. I have yet to see any actual evidence that a man called David Alter is the one who runs this account. Yes, I do think that the continuous usage of the word David is strange, but it could just be some sort of weird strategy to throw everyone off. I think to make the claim that the man's first name behind the whole thing is David is a fairly substantial claim to make based on just how much David is mentioned. I looked into it myself to see if I could actually find any genuine evidence that David Alter is the one behind this account. Remember when I told you to keep in mind Stephanie's half-brother that she mentions in the poem? Well, that half-brother just so happens to be called David. This is definitely strange, right? This is weird. This is a big coincidence at least. So this either means that David has been maneuvering and planning this for years and decades, right? He's been putting on this act for a long time, or it means that he's gotten the name David and the name Stephanie from this poem. He's read it and he's come up with a character from there. I think that the former is a lot more likely, just to be clear, but I don't have any compelling evidence either which way. The bit about this whole thing that is the most chilling to me, though, is the other newspaper article by a man called David Alter. Now, the topic of this newspaper excerpt is how important school uniforms are for students. This is the most scary part of the whole thing for me. Like, that's mental. And once again, a lot of the verbiage and words used here are very strange, right? The way that it's phrased is odd. May I say, as a school pupil aged 13, that wearing school uniform is not as bad as Carolyn Irby. Just like the Stephanie Stansfield excerpt, in the very first sentence of these newspaper bits, they mention the name and the age is always 12 or 13, right? Something around that area. Coincidence? Maybe. There's a lot of these things happening, so it seems more like a pattern to me. Once again, it's from Streatham as well, so it's the same area as the last one, and to be honest, it's very well written, right? It's quite eloquent. It's not what you'd expect from the average 13-year-old. Even a smart 13-year-old wouldn't come out with something like this. It does seem as though someone older has written this, but these could be explained away very easily, right? It is possible that newspapers require them to start the sentences and paragraphs in a certain way, right? Maybe they're like, for readability, we recommend you start with your age and your name. And perhaps a parent has overseen their child writing everything, and perhaps they've made it, you know, a little bit better and trimmed the edges and made it a bit more adult, a bit more presentable, right? There are things you can say and there are explanations you can give that don't involve Smart Schoolboy 9 being the author. But it is certainly a possibility, and it's definitely something worth bringing up. I don't really want to make many definitive claims. I'm laying out the evidence here and leaving the conclusion for you to make. The only thing that I'm saying for certain is that Smart Schoolboy 9 is a predator. He's weird and he needs to be stopped. That much is 100% fact, right? It's evident from the posts that he posts, it's evident from the comments that he leaves on real children's accounts, it's evident from the images that he makes, it's evident from every fucking action of his behavior. In fact, there's one video that I haven't mentioned yet, which I might play heavily blurred, where he's looking into a mirror and just wanking, right? The moans are there, it's awful, it's really disturbing to watch. It's by far the worst thing to come out of any of these accounts. Smart Schoolboy 9 is clearly a very mentally unwell individual, and that's not an assumption, right? You might be able to call it one, but I don't think it is one. Nobody with 10 Instagram accounts is mentally stable, let alone 10 Instagram accounts with this type of fucking content. He is mentally unwell, for sure, not a doubt in my mind. But that makes him more dangerous in my opinion, because it's just so difficult to predict his pattern of behavior, right? It's so difficult to find the intentions. It's so difficult to know exactly why he's doing what he is doing, and what he's doing in the first place.
As his personal accounts show us that he is fairly well-spoken and articulate. And throughout his problematic content, most of his bad grammar and strange verbiage seems to be his attempts at more authentically trying to replicate a child.
So that's interesting. He's shown a personal account that he claims to be Smart Schoolboy 9. I do think it's a little bit weird that he didn't caveat it with, we don't know for sure if this is him, because there is no certainty that this is him. He could be just coining and blaming this poor man, potentially, of being a predator. I mean, yeah, his name is David, but that is kind of the only similarity. Although, I will say, I've just checked his account, and on the latest post, there is a weird segment where he says this: she and I practically sprinted along the road and eventually decided to just walk it to the train station. And you guessed, she was very quick, even in her fave, black patent leather high heels with straps that I might just have mentioned before. I'll admit that even though it's impossible to tell for certain that this is him, it's really strange that the last post on his account mentions high-heeled boots with straps on them. It's a big coincidence at the very least. But once again, it is something worth putting in the video, right? But you can make your own conclusion. I'm not saying anything. I don't know if this is him for sure. I don't want to accuse some potentially poor old man of being a predator. Now, I feel like I've said this so many times at this point, but this is where, for me, it gets very interesting and very clear what this man's intentions actually are, right? I feel like I'm really getting a good understanding of this bloke's personality purely based on the stuff that he posts. Because people, obviously finding out about this account, message him abuse, right? They tell him, you're a fucking creep. And to some of these people, he responds. Like to this one, for example, he says, you're a grown man, maybe looking for sex, which is a strange thing to say, certainly. In this one, a minor messages him, basically goading him about why he's gonna get caught, and that he's underage and to stop texting him, blah blah blah, pretty standard shit. To which he responds, you're wanking as you text. He's calling them the predator. He's accusing them of being the fake kid. You're obviously some dirty old fucker texting a kid. He also commented on one of his own accounts, like I said earlier, this weird community that he's made, with, you are really sad, and if that's your name, David, be honest with yourself. You're 50. As you said elsewhere, you reply to me, a girl, as if I'm your buddy? No chance. Ever. I'm gonna play another segment from the Nick Crowley video where he explains what reasons he thinks Smart Schoolboy has for doing all this, and then I'm gonna give my opinion because I think that he's very wrong.
And he continued posting these predator exposés, along with other warnings about predators on the internet across every page he made, each of which being hyper-specific to his own predatory ways and fetishes. The things he accuses others of are blatant projections of his own dark vices. And I can think of two reasons why. Number one, that this makes his account look safer to other parents and children. It gives the appearance that he's not another internet creep because he's actively calling them out. It's a way to build trust in order to befriend and exploit kids. And number two, he knows what he's doing is wrong. And this is his bizarre way of self-reporting, probably to make himself feel better about what he's doing. And it's obvious based on just how accurate these claims against others are to him. Does he wish he were a young boy in a school classroom, looking nice and being successful at school? Yes.
So I think that what Nick is saying is bollocks, right? And that's not his fault, right? It's just an opinion at the end of the day. But in my opinion, it's very different and it's a lot more sinister. So his first thing was building trust, right? Like I said earlier, I don't think that he actually thinks anyone is going to fall for his shit. It's so outlandish, so cartoonish. The name is Smartschoolboy9, for God's sake. I personally really do believe he's doing all this just to fulfill his own sick, twisted, weird fantasy. Not to actually convince parents or children that he is an actual child. I'm not too sure on that bit though, because there is evidence to suggest otherwise, which I will get to later. So I think that perhaps there is some credit to that opinion. I think the thing about the guilty conscience though is completely incorrect. I don't think he gives a fuck about what he's doing. I think he is completely numb to the harm that he's causing. And I think he loves what he's doing, personally. I think it's the complete opposite. I mean, just like Nick said, a lot of the stuff he's saying is projection. He's saying what he wishes he was doing. And when he does those predator exposés, he's exposing himself, essentially. He's flat out telling everyone, hey, this is what I'm doing, and you can't fucking catch me. And I think that he's getting off on that. He literally texted a kid, you're probably wanking as you write this, because he's wanking as he writes it. He literally posted a video, like I mentioned earlier, of him looking at himself in the mirror and wanking. Do you know the level of narcissism that it takes to do something like that? So when he posts stuff like up to 3 times as many sex offenders in the UK as previously believed, he's basically doing some Ted Bundy catch me if you can style bullshit. He's goading, he's getting off on the fact that he's following all these children and that you can't stop him. That's why I think the pictures started off with realistic children and slowly got more and more outlandish. He's wanting to see how close he can get to the line, how much he can goad, how much he can boast without getting caught. Because the more blatantly creepy and freaky and illegal he gets without being caught, the more of a sexual thrill it gives him, in my opinion. He's probably in the comment section of all the videos on him. He's probably in all the Reddits that are trying to expose him, posing as someone who is trying to find the truth as well. Because he loves seeing people panic. He loves seeing people fall for his shit and get angry, and he's getting away with it all. I wouldn't be surprised if he's in the comment section of this video posing as an actual child again. That's right, David, if that is your real name. I know you're watching this right now, so my word of advice, pause the wank that you're probably having to this right now, pause the gooning session that you're having, and chop your dick off. And whilst you're at it, maybe your head as well. Or at the very least, your tongue, so you can stop doing that weird shit that you're always doing. It's really, really strange. Here's another post of his that is definitely worth mentioning. It's one that went really popular. Truthsticks11 posted about Abdullah, which is the account in that first video he was trying to expose for being a man pretending to be a boy. And he says this: Abdullah Shakir, notice the lettering of the surname and what he is implying. Crimes against humanity. CHA. Crimes, humanity, appalling. It's all code. Cannibalism, hatred, active, indicating why he uses photos of boys showing bare flesh. KIR suggests his fetish extends to thoughts of killing in ritual, and 34 AC indicates to 34 other people that he and they are active in their accounts. Eventually, as he lacks photos of the boy, his followers notice something is wrong, using the same photo many times and trying to add photos of other boys. The arrogant man pretending to be a boy cannot pretend arrogance is a substitute for common sense. Now, this would be weird isolated, but when you take into account that this man loves to project, he loves to tell the internet what he is actually doing, and gets off on the fact that no one can stop him, this post suddenly becomes a whole lot creepier and a whole lot more disturbing. It implies that he, best case scenario, has intentions or fetishizes about killing. I can't believe, by the way, that that is the best case scenario. Worst case scenario is that we're dealing with a genuine, actual fucking murderer. The worst case scenario is very, very unlikely. If it was likely, I probably wouldn't be laughing and making jokes about it. There is also potential, to be fair, that he is just taking the piss. He's seeing how far he can go because this is fun for him. He's having so much fun. I mean, what else could he possibly have going on in his life? Maybe if Milton Keynes was a bit less fucking boring and had some shit in it that people could actually have fun in, this wouldn't have happened because he wouldn't have been so bored and might have just gone to a bowling alley or something, or a museum. Okay, this is the last time that I'll show the Nick Crowley video because I want to address the video of Smartschoolboy9 chasing a boy in high mini-heeled boots. Supposedly, right?
This was the text shown on screen during a short video posted onto one of David's many accounts. And in the video, we see the man pointing the camera at himself, showing his full face of white makeup and red lipstick. This video is edited more egregiously than any others I've seen across his page, with multiple explicit images and huge emojis covering the majority of the screen. Though just barely enough of the footage can be seen that shows David as he turns the camera around, revealing a young boy. Who he then proceeds to chase after, giggling all the while.
Yeah, once again, I don't think it's a real video. I certainly hope that it's not a real video. And once again, that's not me defending him, it's more me trying to instill a bit of hope in, the whole situation, right? I don't think that it's quite that bad. I don't think that Smartschoolboy9 has physically interacted with a child in such a way, at least publicly, on an account that he has, owned. I don't think that even he is stupid enough to go that far and post it publicly and think that nothing could come from it. As stupid as he may seem, he is at the very least intelligent enough to do such heinous things on the internet with so many accounts and not been traced to a T. There's evidence to suggest that he's actually been doing this since 1999, so the fact that he's not been put behind bars or investigated properly suggests that he hasn't done anything overtly illegal or anything crazy like, public, if that makes any sense. I think given his past behavior of editing photos and pretending to be with real children, and also the low quality and the weird way that it's edited, suggests that this isn't a real video of them chasing a child, right? Because also, it'll be very difficult to run that fast in high-heeled mini boots. I know that sounds very silly for me to say, but that is a genuine thought that I'm having here. I'm not dismissing the fact that it could be a real video, but I'm saying that it probably isn't in my opinion. Now with all this, there's obviously been a horde of internet vigilantes and cyber sleuths trying to find out all the information and pick out all the pieces, and with that inevitably has come a lot of bullshit, and with that inevitably has come a lot of people who believe in the bullshit. So I wanted to do this last segment of the video to debunk a lot of the obviously fake shit that's going around, but also to show you all the most compelling piece of evidence to this being a real situation that I have managed to find. So this document has been going crazy popular on the Reddit that's trying to dissect all the information, and it's a load of bullshit. It's called the Smart Schoolboy9 rabbit hole, and it's just full of assumptions with no evidence. Some of these assumptions include he used to work in a post office, his mum died in 1992, and the other day there was also one suggesting that he was raped as a child, and yeah, needless to say, those are all bullshit. That's probably why he deleted that last one. It's all just stuff that has been probably made up by weird internet detectives who think that they know everything, but they're just, fucking 12 years old or something. They want to feel important, so they've made up some potentially interesting information, right? They're not to be trusted. Cyber sleuths as a whole probably do more harm than good. People also believe that they found his house, right? This is the street view of the house that they believe he lives in, and then they have shown the door in one of the Instagram reels that he has posted, and the door does look very similar. If you also look at the house, you can see that plant pot that is conveniently placed right there below the window, and sure enough, on one of his reels, you can see that exact same plant pot with what looks to be the same plant in it. And what's even more disturbing is that there is a play area right next to this gaff as shown by this Reddit user. And sure enough, on another one of his Instagram reels, he was spotted in this exact play area. However, one supposed Doncaster local has left a comment claiming that they've been to the house multiple times, spoke with the neighbors on video, and the house is empty and has been empty for months. So this either means that the whole thing is bullshit, it means that these videos were recorded way earlier than we think, or this user could potentially be bullshitting or wrong. All of which are possibilities. I don't know for sure, but once again, it's something that I feel is important to put in the video, right? But again, you make your own conclusion. Interestingly enough, David Firth, the animator for Salad Fingers, has spoken out about this, I guess. Colin was a local in the Doncaster, Milton Keynes sort of area, and someone asked him if they recognized Smart Schoolboy9. He says, yeah, I think I remember him walking around town in the late 90s or early 2000s when I was at Hall Cross School. He never approached me though. If we're talking about the same person, he was a dark-skinned guy who would wear really sloppily applied makeup, like just a bunch of white and red makeup face paint, like it was just smeared across his face. I remember him wearing a white shirt and a school tie and had a strange posture. or walked quite lent forwards. That would make sense if he was wearing the high-heeled boots, right? That's the point of high heels. They make your waist go a bit more forward. He was quite tall and walked very fast. He seemed startled, looking all around quite paranoid. Probably walked past me a couple of times near Hallcross School at the end of the town. That's all I remember. I'd say 1999 to 2001. Not the crossover I was expecting, to be totally honest, but this is a very, very interesting piece of information. But what's even more interesting is mentions of Smart Schoolboy 9 in 1999, before any of this was as big as it is right now. So this here is the really compelling piece of evidence that I've been sort of alluding to this whole video, because this fucking blew my mind when I actually saw it. I was like, Jesus Christ, this is actually real. Like, there are aspects of this that are really, really, really real. On the 21st of October, 1999, this post was made. Anyone who's been into the North Bridge Doncaster Tesco's on a weekday evening regularly will know what I'm talking about. At first, many months ago, I thought that it was just a released into community care weirdo with a severe skin complaint. However, last week, whilst working on the town centre lighting, I saw it without its charcoal blusher combination face covering, embarrassingly too small, half-mast circulation shopping, schoolboy's uniform, and ridiculously high girls' platform shoes. It was stood, without makeup, outside the Christchurch gents' toilets for hours on end. I saw police twice asking it to move on without arresting it, and it continued to frequent the toilets. A couple of weeks ago, me and the missus were going through the next checkout from this freak. As usual, most of the staff were taking their breaks early to see the show, security guards falling apart with laughter, and we heard the elderly female cashier ask it, whilst blatantly struggling to keep a straight face, "Do you have a club card?" It replied, very seriously, "Of course not. I'm only 13. I found out from another Tesco employee that it gives the same reply to that question every time. The guy is about 30 years old and over 6 feet tall, platform shoes included, and apparently a locally well-known rent boy. The other comical thing is that it appears to have very tight rubber bands around its clothes, making it look a bit like a trussed-up turkey. Weird. In short, it's like Monty Python meets Quentin Crisp meets Just Williams meets a very poor attempt at the black and white minstrel show. Somebody tell me I'm not seeing things and going crazy. Somebody else on this must have seen it before. Confirm to the others that I'm not joking. I mean, I think it's pretty safe to say that this is absolutely referencing Smart Schoolboy 9. The description is exactly the same. So he's been doing this for genuine decades, and that much is almost undeniable. I don't want to make any certainty claims because I'm just, I'm being a bit careful, but it's almost undeniable. Just really strange behavior. I know I sound like a broken record here, but God, what a fucking weird mystery that this is. One good thing that has happened recently is that the Reddit I got a lot of the information from, a lot of the posts have been archived or deleted, which I think is a good thing because it's not the internet's place to discover mysteries and solve cases. It's the police's job, right? Give the information to them, not 12-year-olds on fucking Reddit. Cyber sleuthing has been a real genuine issue for a while now. I remember with the Idaho murders, it made it significantly harder for justice to actually be served. Even now, all these predator catchers and stuff, they're all shit. They're all such pish. Vigilantism is not usually a good thing, and it's never a good thing when it's something like this. Even the Nick video got like 5 million views. It made the whole thing so popular. Smart Schoolboy 9 got scared. He shat the bed and deleted everything, which could have made it a lot harder if, it wasn't all archived. And by that I mean harder for the police to actually solve if something nefarious is going on here, which probably there is something really bad going on here. I just think people should be a bit more careful with, the stuff they put out on the internet and the information that they're, giving out. Needless to say, do not try to contact Smart Schoolboy 9, right? Don't comment on any post if he has anything public. Do not message him if you find anything that could potentially be him. Do not engage with any accounts that could be him or a fan account. Fucking weird fan accounts are happening now, so that's predictable. It's the internet, but it is strange and degenerate, and honestly, if you run one of them, never watch my videos again. I don't want you here. One of the victims of Smart Schoolboy 9, as in one of the pictures of the children that he has been using all over his accounts, the girl from those pictures has actually come out and spoken out and detailed her experience and how it's made her feel and what she is going to do going forward. If you've been following this situation at all, the name Joanne Tang should be disgustingly familiar to you by now. Well, it turns out her real name is Camille, and this is what she looks like, and these are the posts that Smart Schoolboy 9 was making with her in it. These are old pictures, by the way, so Smartschoolboy9 specifically went back on her profiles and found pictures where she was 15 years old to use in his ones. I couldn't imagine the feeling of looking at yourself as a minor be plastered all over the internet without your consent or knowledge by one of the most prolific predators that the internet has ever seen, by the way. So she said this: "Hi, I have only now just been made aware of this Smartschoolboy9 situation. My name is Camille, and this man has used videos of me from when I was 15 years old and used them to create an alias called Joanne Tang. If anyone has any evidence, please message me on my Instagram or TikTok. I'll be reporting this situation to the police and identity theft, as well as and child content, and I could use as much evidence as possible. Thank you." I think all of that is totally justified, and she's well within her right to do any of that. Once again, I couldn't imagine how uncomfortable and violating this must feel. I mentioned in the last video that I was glad that the Reddit was taking down a lot of posts to, I guess, prevent cyber sleuthing and weird internet detectives just ruining everything. But for whatever reason, this time they took down the post of Camille revealing that she is Joanne Tang and asking for help. Like, no, this is one of the ones that you should definitely leave up. This is like the whole point of the subreddit being a thing. How could you make a subreddit like purely on the basis of finding new information about the bloke and then go on to silence one of his victims pretty much? For whatever reason, they deemed it appropriate to do so, and they had to make a whole new subreddit basically just so that she could get herself out there. Something I also didn't mention in the last video was the Stephanie Schooley Facebook account. This is not one of those weird fan accounts that have been going around, by the way. This is pretty much confirmed to be him because it has posts dating back to like 2020. And when you take into account how long it's been going on for, plus the consistencies that it has with what we've seen from Smartschoolboy9 on every other social media platform, I'm like 99% sure that this is actually him. I mean, the profile picture is literally just a fucking school table and chair. The only person who makes the fact that they go to school this much of their personality is Smartschoolboy9, and he doesn't even go to fucking school. The majority of the count is just more of the same that we've already seen. It's got distorted images, it's got, you know, those weird collages. Classic Smartschoolboy9 trademark style. It's like fucking Aardman animation at this point, man. He can make Wallace and Gromit out of shit like this. And once again, he's almost goading everyone that they can't do anything to stop him by saying, "Be more discerning about posting to the public," which is apparently a quote from her mother. A brief video, and I'm saying during my video, so it's the year 2024. I'm not gonna just watch the video. We can all hear what she's saying. I can't believe I just said she, by the way. I'm playing into his fucking fantasy. We can all hear what Smartschoolboy9 he is saying. And once again, he describes himself incredibly. He says, "I'm Stephanie. Yep, a real girl," like he's fucking Pinocchio.
So, it's the year 2024. I'm at youth summer camp. I'm Stephanie, officially a teenager. It's nice.
By the way, guys, I'm not lying when I said that I actually had trouble sleeping the night that I uploaded the first video. Like, this shit really creeped me out for some reason. I think what disturbs me most is just how obvious it is that he is getting off to it. And honestly, I think it's actually a bit deeper than I made it out to be in my last video. Last time I talked about how, like, I thought he got off on goading people, making fun of them, saying, "You're probably wanking off as you write these texts," because he was wanking off as he writes the text. He was projecting, right? But the more I think about it, I think that he gets off on being an actual schoolboy that is being preyed upon. It could very well be a response to whatever sexual trauma he has gone through as a kid, right? People have been speculating that he was, you know, he went through something traumatic as a child, right? And I don't doubt that, but we don't know for sure. He could genuinely just be cuckoo, right? Like, maybe nothing happened to him and he's just that weird. But at every opportunity that he can, he always makes it out to be like whoever he's talking to is a predator who is preying upon him. And whilst, yes, I do think that part of it is projection, I do also now think that he has a almost kink for being preyed upon as a schoolboy, which might be why he dresses up as someone in school all the time, because you can't exactly be preyed on as a student in school when you're 60 years old. Your only option at that point is to cosplay, right? I suppose he also just happens to have a high heel fetish and a big red lips fetish as well. I also said in the last video that there was no evidence to suggest that the David London Facebook account was Smartschoolboy9, but this Stephanie Schooley Facebook account displays similar political opinions to David London, and also writes in a very similar way when they're talking about politics. Like here they are talking about Donald Trump, which David London also spoke a lot about Donald Trump on his personal Facebook account. These early posts being so normal, by the way, sort of makes me think that maybe he rebranded from whatever account this was before to Stephanie Schooley. I don't know though, that is just a pure guess. By the way, I got a lot of comments in the last video saying, oh, you idiot, we do know who he is. His name's David Alter, he's 60 years old, you're a moron, do your fucking research. Guys, are you dense? His name is not David Alter. Well, maybe it is, right? Maybe it is. Once again, I don't know for sure, but it would be a pretty big fucking coincidence for someone who got famous from their alter ego to actually have the surname Alter. This is what I mean about cyber sleuths being more of a harm than they are good, because a lot of the people on the Reddit or on the internet or in the comment section of YouTube videos will just eat up any old shit that they're given about this situation. If you took a couple seconds to actually think fucking critically, you might come to the conclusion that him being called David Alter would be possibly way too much of a coincidence for it to actually be real. The David part, fair enough. He uses the word David a lot. There's a lot of evidence to suggest that his name is David. I've yet to see any evidence that his last name is actually Alter. What there is more evidence now, though, even more than last time, is that he's been doing this for so long that it can't be a publicity stunt. This cannot be purely for attention. He's getting off on it, right? This is something that he enjoys so much, he has been dedicated to it for actual decades. This tweet from the Summon Youth Center has gone pretty viral recently. They promote health and well-being, education and work, and community engagement in young people. Now, for my American audience, these community centers are a dime a dozen in the UK. And by the way, they do work. Like, they really do great things for the community. Anyway, I guess one quirk or sort of service that they do or provide is to publish works that are sent to them by people who visit their youth center, or even people who don't, because Salmon Youth Center is in Bermondsey, and here they are publishing a letter from somebody in Doncaster, which of course is one of the places where Smart Schoolboy 9 is theorized to reside in. And it just so happens that the name of the person who sent this work in is called Stephanie. I'm sure you can see where this is going. Look at this lovely handwritten card we received in the post this week from Stephanie, an 11-year-old girl living in #Doncaster. It's great to hear Salmon's work is resonating with young people everywhere. My name is Stephanie, mixed race, born in London. I'm age 11 and in year 7. Once again, the first thing that he does, like everything else we've seen, is mention his age and the year that he's in school. If this was the only time we've seen something like this happen, it wouldn't be that big of a deal, but the fact that every piece of work that is allegedly attributed to Smart Schoolboy 9 starts like this is very suspicious. I'm hoping I don't have any fights in my school, which is year 7, by the way. Just gonna make that clear again if it wasn't already fucking clear enough. Here is a picture of me and the so awesome heels that we girls are allowed. It's the fucking high-heeled mini boots again, man. Look at the collage. It's classic Smart Schoolboy 9, man. This is from 2018, by the way, so this isn't some troll, like, pretending to be him. I don't know how many Smart Schoolboy 9 impersonators there were that many years ago. Once again, I don't want to make any definitive claims, but I'm like 99% sure that this is actually him. By the way, I got speaking to someone after the last video who knows a lot about paraphilias, which are basically hyper-specific fetishes. Yeah, I know it wasn't their best flex, but whatever, they had it. And apparently, people with shoe fetishes tend to have a subgenre of that fetish where they enjoy the uncomfortableness of the high heel, for example, whether it be wearing it themselves or watching somebody else struggle to wear it. Obviously, you can't really do much in them, so I think they're only used for foreplay, but I actually managed to find an eBay listing of, like, shoes specifically made for people that have this fetish. So as weird as Smart Schoolboy 9's high heel thing seems to be, he's definitely not such an anomaly that no one else has it, right? It's like an allergy. But not like a peanut allergy or one of the mainstream boring ones. I'm talking like a kiwi allergy. This is also one of the biggest things that's happened since the last video. Somebody went to the alleged house of Smart Schoolboy 9, which we did talk about, right? The house where he potentially lives, and they smashed his window in with a brick. Now, this video got 3 million views on TikTok and, rightfully by the way, got taken down afterwards. They then re-uploaded it and said, TikTok, this is fake, the video got taken down, blah blah blah. You may say that it's fake, but there is evidence to suggest that the windows actually have been smashed. These pictures here allegedly show the house now, after the windows have been done in, being rebuilt, basically. Many people have taken this sign as, like, him being barricaded in the house and, like, confirmation of the police investigation or whatever. That's not what this is. That's not what a police investigation looks like. They don't just put wood on the windows of your house. And by the way, I'm suspicious as to even if there is a police investigation. There has been no evidence of that whatsoever. And the internet does have a lot of people who are very willing to lie about police investigations happening, right? It's not an uncommon thing, unfortunately. A lot of people really need to learn not to believe everything they see on the internet. It's like, it's drilled into us from such a young age, but people just don't seem to fucking understand it. But needless to say, smashing his windows in is one of the dumbest things you could do. Like, if there ever was a wrong way to handle this situation, it would be this. And to make matters worse, it's been theorized that he actually moved out of this house months ago, so no one even lives there at the minute. Also, by the way, even if it was Smart Schoolboy 9's house, like, without a shadow of a doubt, that's still not a valid reason to fuck up the system and chuck bricks at his windows and destroy his property. It's just pure vigilanteism from a TikTok account that doesn't even seem to really care about the situation or the people affected. Like, it really does seem as though they're just doing it for views and fucking TikTok clout. They don't give a fuck. It really is just a bit grim, innit? You fucking freak. All this really does is cause more issues for the potential police investigation that may be happening, and also just for the community of whoever lives here. Like, you've caused property damage for whatever landlord owns the gaff, and then you've probably terrified the neighbors as well. Like, now they might think that fucking brick-throwing maniacs are around their gaff throwing bricks at houses. It's not a nice situation for a local to be in. And by the way, some of this goes to the people watching this video as well. I'm not saying that you're just smashing windows in, but I'm serious when I say don't even try or attempt to interact with anything that is potentially Smart Schoolboy 9. All you'll be doing is interfering with the professionals who allegedly are trying to handle the situation. You'll be making it a lot harder for them. And also potentially getting yourself into danger yourself. It's not your responsibility. Seriously. Just don't bother. I do get it though. Don't think I don't understand why Smart Schoolboy 9 elicits such a strong reaction in a lot of the people who hear about it. I do get it because he is sick to a whole different level. Like, sick to an extent that most of us will never even understand. I don't even think I did it justice when I talked about how weird he was in the last video that I did about him. Because in that last video, I talked a lot about how he was projecting, like in that famous text where he said, "You're probably wanking to this right now." I theorized that he said that because he was wanking to, you know, the text right now. And he's projecting it onto the person that he's talking to, basically accusing them of the thing that he's doing himself. And I do still believe that that is true to an extent. However, I think it's even deeper than that. I think that his fetishes and kinks have gone beyond just being a predator, and I think it's actually entered a realm where he is fantasizing about being an actual student in school who was being preyed upon. I'm definitely starting to believe more and more that he was inflicted a certain type of sexual trauma as a child, because it would definitely make this sort of behavior a bit easier to understand, but we don't know for sure. That is just me theorizing, right? Like, maybe he is just genuinely that sick and twisted for no apparent reason. But it also would explain why he dresses up as a student all the time. Like you can't exactly play out your fantasy of being a student being preyed upon when you're 60 years old and no longer in school. Your only option at that point is to cosplay as a student, basically. A schoolboy or a schoolgirl, which, by the way, are extremely outdated terms. I've never heard anyone non-ironically refer to someone as a schoolboy or schoolgirl probably in my entire life. So that definitely does add merit to the theory that he's like a 60-year-old man. Although, to be fair, I do think it was intentional. I don't think he actually thinks that this is how people in school interact with each other. He's so on the nose and weird and dumb in all the posts that he makes, but then weirdly intelligent with the way that he goes about it, that a lot of it is intentional, like, without a doubt in my mind. There's also a theory going around that the reason his face looks so fucking weird and ugly is because he's actually wearing a mask, and I actually think that there is some credit to this theory. We'll go over some of the pictures and what the user has specified as important information. So in this first picture, they point out a mask outline. I personally just think that it's his hair being dodgy. In this one, they point out how the top and bottom half of his face are completely different colors. I personally believe that the reason he paints his bottom half of his face more than the top is to accentuate and emphasize the big red lips and tongue thing. Like, he probably has a fetish for whatever the fuck that is that he's doing all the time, and he wants you to look at that mouth sort of area, right? A lot of what he does is accentuate the fetishes that he has. Like, it's very clear to see what he's into based on how he dresses, how he presents himself, right? The high-heeled boots is a perfect example, by the way. Sensor bar under his chin to hide visible mask lines. I think this one's valid. I think this one's, like, very, very possible, actually. Top teeth fake with bottom teeth real. The top teeth do genuinely look very fake. I've been thinking this for a while, like, who knows, maybe he just has the most buck teeth in the world, But they do look a bit fake, so there's validity to this one as well. Looks like it's peeling up at the nose bridge, and then they point at his nose. I'm not sure about this one. I think he is just genuinely that fuck ugly, but who knows, right? And then they show a Temu listing of the potential mask that it could be, right? So masks like this do exist, and I do think that it is very possible he is wearing a mask. It would explain a lot, to be fair. It would also explain partially why he's not been caught yet, right? If he's not using his real face. It makes sense for sure, we just don't know for sure. I think that this one is undeniable though, that a lot of the look that he gives these kids in like the AI generated photos or whatever tend to look a lot like sex dolls. So here's a picture of a kid who looks like a fucked up version of Macaulay Culkin. That Smartschoolboy9 obviously generated, probably using AI. And then a picture of a standard sex doll to compare it to. And then here's another one just for good measure, because why not? You can never have too much. Yeah, I think it's very possible that the two are linked. Either that or the reason that he has a fetish for that type of look is the same reason that the sex dolls look that way, right? There might just be a really specific genre of people who enjoy that look for whatever reason, right? I don't know. Here's another post that went huge on the Reddit where someone is theorizing that this post here is about Smartschoolboy9 in 2016. So the search is Schoolboy in Doncaster, and Melanie Watson has said, just heard from Denim Academy that they've had to call the police because the copycat clown, we all know who, has been near kids who were learning outside. He is now stalking kids and scaring the shit out of them. This is too bloody far. And then about 50 full stops. See, this is what I'm talking about when I say that internet detectives know fuck all, because this is the reachiest of reaches. I said it in the last video, and I'll say it again, there is no evidence of him being physically creepy to a real child in the wild, right? In public. Every video that supposedly displays him doing such a thing is edited and manufactured by him. They're always the most obvious edits in the world, by the way, so people who genuinely believe that they're real either have no critical thinking skills or are just lying to you. The video of him running down the street to chase that boy is like the best example of this, by the way. Do you really think that in broad daylight, people are just gonna watch this weird fucking bloke chase this kid and do nothing about it, and nothing's gonna come out of that? Fuck no, it's an edited video. He's shown himself and then just spliced a clip of a kid running, and then voiceovered himself going, that was sorry, I'll never do that again, by the way. Don't get me wrong, it's very weird that he wants people to believe that he's doing these things, but he is not doing these things. At least publicly. Also, this was 2016 and they mentioned copycat clowns, so the killer clown thing was huge in 2016, like it just probably wasn't him. By the way, I'm not talking about just commenters and people online who think that the edited videos are real. I've seen genuinely huge YouTubers recently actually try to convince their audience that Smartschoolboy9 actually entered a school and like recorded the school he was in. But then when they show the video on screen for reference, it's the most obvious edit job that you've ever seen in your life. I'll play it now. Hopefully you'll be able to know what I'm talking about.
I'm here at school.
It's like, hey man, if you're a normal person who has never edited anything in their life and knows nothing about editing, maybe you'll think it's real, right? Maybe. But if you're a fucking YouTuber who is looking at this video and thinks that it's real, one of two things could be true. You're either the dumbest motherfucker that has ever come out of a pussy, or you're intentionally lying to your audience on some CNN fear-mongering bullshit for some reason. I seriously don't know. It doesn't make the video more entertaining to make him out to be a bigger creep. It is just sensationalism. Another link that people have made is between Smartschoolboy9 and the BTK killer from a couple years back. Not as in, like, they're mates or anything like that. They don't go down pub together, but they do share very similar fetishes. And to be honest, even though it might seem like a reach, I kind of see where they're coming from in this case. BTK stands for blind, torture, and kill, which is what he would do to all of his victims, mainly women, but there were men and children thrown in there as well. He was very intelligent though, and he didn't get caught for years, and interestingly enough, the way that he was caught is because he got too cocky. He sent a floppy disk over to the police station, which they were able to track back to his address. Well, not his address, but just a place that was very identifiable. I think it was his church or something. But I think it's interesting that his cockiness and his goading and his love of, I guess, taunting people was what got him done for, because Smart Schoolboy 9 does a very similar thing. They both have this love for taunting people and letting them know, haha, I'm doing something wrong, and you know I'm doing something wrong, but you can't catch me. I do think that's what he's doing a lot of the time, by the way, and I really do think he gets a kick out of it. And maybe it will be his downfall, who knows? But anyway, where the fetish thing comes even more clear is that Dennis Rader would take photos of himself tied up, dressed up as a woman, etc, etc. Here's one really popular one. You can definitely see where the Smart Schoolboy 9 vibes come from. Like, if I put them side by side, you can definitely see the similarities for sure. Dennis Rader would also draw his fantasies about what he wanted to do to his victims in a very similar manner to Smart Schoolboy 9's collages. Like, look at that. Honestly, they might have been mates. They might have been fucking working together, because these are eerily similar. Here's another famous picture of him performing his fetish in a really weird way. What a fucking weird... But look, just to be clear, I'm not saying that they knew each other, or even that one was inspired by the... I mean, Dennis was definitely not inspired by Smart Schoolboy 9. Smart Schoolboy 9 may have taken some sort of inspiration from Dennis Rader because he's insanely popular, but I don't even think that that's the case. I just think that they happen to have very similar fetishes, and also happen to express these fetishes in very similar ways. It is hauntingly worrying how eerily similar he is in terms of mindset to one of the most prolific and dangerous serial killers of all time, though. Again, I'm not accusing him of killing anyone, but it's weird. Here's another post that has gone pretty viral from a user on the Kendrick Lamar fan club Discord for some reason. It seems as though predators really aren't safe around anything Kendrick Lamar related. But anyway, he posted, "So now I have been doing some more research and can finally confirm that the David London account on Facebook is in fact using the same email address that was using the Smart Schoolboy 9's Instagram account." Another thing to also mention is that lyricist David is indeed Smart Schoolboy as well. However, we do have some more IP addresses, and funnily enough, more of them linked to Liverpool. Anyways, I'll show more proof down below. We are the original people who have found this info. Anyone else claiming that they did are simply chasing clout. And then they go on to just put a bunch of information that they have on him, supposedly like his phone number, the dates and stuff, account closures, registration dates, the usernames. They basically think that they fucking CSI'd this shit, but in my opinion, it's all just hearsay. Like, there's such little evidence of any of this. Just because you put the word verified after a censored version of a phone number, it doesn't mean that it's actually fucking verified. Again, maybe it's true. Who knows? But I'm just not going to believe it. There's so little evidence. Here's another example of something that is just so dumb. It's a Twitter thread that stemmed from someone criticizing the cosplays of Smart Schoolboy 9, which those in and of themselves are also so dumb. Like, I'm honestly expecting hordes of people to dress up as this bloke for Halloween. That'd be like if I went out as Jimmy Savile for Halloween. It's really fucking weird. Honestly, now that I'm sat here thinking about it, it honestly would not be that weird if we seen a Jimmy Savile out in the UK on Halloween as like an actual costume. You know what? It is kind of funny, I'm not gonna lie, so grey area. People are dressing up and praising Smart Schoolboy 9. Are people forgetting that the guy is a pedo and kills little kids? This is just sick. Okay, first of all, yeah, they are cosplaying as him and shit, and like they're making weird TikTok. They're not praising him, like, at all. Like, they're being weirdos, but they're not sat there going, yes, Smart Schoolboy 9 is my favorite Instagram account. I love him. He's like fucking David Dobrik. Smart Schoolboy 9 unironically has more personality than David Dobrik, by the way. It's not a good personality, but it's something. Anyway, Scoob responded, "Wait, he killed?" None of the videos I've watched said that part, to which the original poster said, apparently he killed and did some ritual. So you went from saying he killed kids to apparently he killed kids. You've already switched it up too much for my liking, like, it's just unfounded. Anyway, somebody with an actual fucking brain replied, "You'll believe anything. He didn't kill anyone, nor did a ritual happen. Bruh, he talked about a fake account apparently wanting to do so. If he would have killed anyone, he would have been in jail by now. Y'all are slow." And then someone quote tweeted that with, "Imagine defending a literal cannibalistic She's not defending him. She's not saying, like, his actions are actually... You know what, when you think about it, like, his victims kind of fucking deserved it. Like, what were they wearing? Maybe in England, just, like, kids deserve to be preyed upon. I kind of agree with his politics, so, like... I don't know, he brings up some kind of good points, Smart Schoolboy 9 does. That's not what she's doing at all. She's just questioning the bullshit logic that you guys are spouting. Like morons. As she should be doing, by the way. Or maybe not should be doing, but has every right to be doing. And once again, just unfounded claims about him being cannibalistic. I've never heard that fucking theory before, and I've done more research than probably 99% of people. Here's another post that has been linked to Smart Schoolboy 9, supposedly. We believe we could have some useful information on a sexual assault on a schoolgirl in 2016. We believe the possible suspect could be David Alter, who lived on Christchurch Road at the time. He currently goes by the online alliance of Smart Schoolboy 9. To be fair, I do kind of see the similarities, like, whatever, I guess, right? It's fine. And then they also show that he was seen walking along Frenchgate in Doncaster. Once again, though, I just think this is one of those reaches. There's no evidence at all. I know I sound like a broken record at this point, but I would just love a post with some actual fucking evidence at this point. Anyway, finally, we're gonna go over his hit single, Running Tram. A great song that I don't know why I didn't mention in the first video.
I think I hear a running tram.
I mean, right away, these opening lyrics, they leave an impression on you, right? It's a masterpiece, really. For those who don't know, a Marianne is a young male prostitute, usually, and a Steely Dan is just another word for a sex toy, and then a running tram is just another term for, like, running a train on someone. I'm sure you all know what that one means. I'm not gonna fucking explain it.
Going back in time, not out of time. I think I like a little lemon and lime.
To go back in time, not out of time, in my opinion, is just a pretty clear reference to how he wants to be a school student again, so he's going back in time to be a student. It's not that deep, really. Maybe the song's not as much of a masterpiece as I originally thought it was. It's quite on the nose. He then goes on to say lemon and lyche. People think he says lime, but if you fucking have ears, you can hear that he says lyche. But yeah, lemon is just a graphic sexual situation, and lyche is a dead body. Oh, what a fun, nice song this is. And then from then on, he just goes into some weird a cappella thing where he's on his mic going and then just saying words over it, which I guess is what music is at the end of the day, but I mean, it's not a very good song to say the least. There is one moment that I find quite humorous though.
Running tram. Running tram. Taking the buses or the train and the train and the bus and the bus is the running tram. You didn't stole the soldier, you did not steal the sand. I think you know where this guitar is going. I'm back in time.
Back in time.
Back in time.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, I've travelled out here far from my home, but today is the interview you've all been waiting for, me and Smart Schoolboy 9.
So this is Ezekiel, and he is a TikToker who makes comedy skits, I guess.
We have all heard about this Smart Boy 9 incident on the internet, right? Yeah. Yes, miss, of course. Excellent. I've already given out 4 detentions today because people love to speak on it, but it's not the right environment to speak on something of this matter. Thank you, class. Everyone back to your work. Yo, how has the teachers found out about it?
That is bloody funny. I don't know about you, but I personally might quit the internet because if there's brilliant videos and comedians like this online, I don't think I deserve a place here. I'll never live up to all of these genii. Yes, by the way, I did say genii, not geniuses. I'm one of those people. Subscribe if you're also a pretentious twat like me. Anyway, Ezekiel was teasing this interview with Smart Schoolboy 9 for a good while before it actually came out. Fortunately though, to anybody who isn't fucking brain dead, we all knew that it wasn't gonna be a real interview. Like, that's ridiculous. Unfortunately though, the vast majority of people covering and talking about this case are genuinely actually fucking brain dead, and so Ezekiel managed to swindle enough people to make this video a substantial career move that has skyrocketed his fame, views, and money. Good job, Ezekiel. Congrats on all the success, man. You've earned it. Really and truly. I mean, fucking people have said that I'm milking this situation. If I'm milking it, what the fuck is he doing? In fact, right now, let's count how many TikToks he's actually made regarding the situation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Not including the interview, he has made 17 videos about Smart Schoolboy 9. That is insane. I don't care what hustle you're on, that is slightly embarrassing, isn't it? Especially when you're as much of a liar as Ezekiel is, which we'll get into later. Don't worry, by the way, I'm going to respond to all the criticisms that people have thrown my way about my videos at the end of this one, but for now, let's actually go over the updates. And let's do what nobody with a frontal lobe has actually done. Watch Ezekiel's interview with Smart Schoolboy 9.
As you guys can see, the face is blurred, but we came to a mutual agreement that I had to blur the face. What how old actually are you? Because there's people online that think you're a school kid, and there's people online that are saying you're 30, 40, 50. So
He said I'm not allowed to talk about my age.
you're not allowed to talk about your age, and I'm gonna keep it real with you, yeah. And I'm not no guy who doesn't keep it real with people in real life. I'm a straight guy.
He's not a gay guy, he's a straight guy, and he keeps it real with people. That's why he's faked an interview and bragged about it for fucking weeks to get it as much hype as possible. I mean, it's just a bloke probably in a fat suit in a school uniform with black gloves on. He's probably not even black, man. This is ridiculous! How did anybody fall for this, man? Also, why are you stuttering and stammering with someone that's probably a friend of yours? Like, this isn't actually Smart Schoolboy 9. Are you actually that shit at talking?
What? How old are actually?
You're a public speaker, man. You do it for a living. Fucking do another take. It's not a real interview.
I haven't done anything at all. No, there's...
If I was a snitch, I don't know.
What is this, man? What the fuck is this? Is there no script? Are they just winging it? They knew this would they knew that this would bang. They had all the time in the world to make it as interesting as possible, and they're just stuttering and stammering through it like plonkers. I don't agree with what you've done. I've not done anything like I've not done.
I haven't done anything at all. No, there's...
That's what he said. That is genuinely what he said. And then Ezekiel, don't worry, by the way, because he comes back with a genius response. He puts the pressure on. Because if I was a snitch, it's yeah.
It's just the things you do. It's just, bro. I don't even know what to say. I'm stuttering like a madman, but I just can't believe I'm even sat with you.
I don't know.
That wasn't a question. Why would you haven't asked a question. You just said some bullshit and gave him the microphone. You have to ask a fucking question. You know what? I think we're done with this interview. Genuinely. I mean, it's just a really shit joke with really poor taste. Like, it's very bad faith, this video. It's awful. Like, it's not even funny. It's not even funny as a video. Even if it was a skit, there's no comedic value. This video offers nothing to fucking anybody.
It was a long video to do. Long to come out here as well. It took me 5 hours to drive out here, guys. But I hope you guys understand the main purpose of this video is for me to raise awareness.
Go fuck yourself. Genuinely. Actually go fuck yourself. You're not fooling anybody, you tosser.
So this video is for me to raise awareness for children, especially, how to protect themselves online. So parents, if you've got any children or children, if you're watching, I'm going to leave resources down below, links of how you can protect yourself when you're online doing things, because it is online. As a creator myself, I know how it gets online. And I was obviously a child once. I'm 19, but I know how it gets, and the dangers of the internet is scary. I just want everyone to stay safe and make sure you are checking who you're following and who you're friends with online, because the internet's not what it seems, I promise you. I love you all. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Fuck me, what a load of waffle. I genuinely can't believe that somebody this shameless is, well, I definitely can believe that somebody this shameless is online, actually, so I take that back, but it's still very strange to see, and it grinds my gears, it pushes my buttons, it pisses on my bonfire, it eats my macaroni.
You lot, I genuinely don't know what to do. If I post the interview, people are going to say it's fake. If I don't post the interview, people are going to say it's fake. I try my best to make this happen. I'm not a clout chaser. Everybody knows. My real supporters know. From day one, I've been smashing views out, regardless of chasing controversy. I haven't actually slept good in days, you lot. I'm actually only 19 years old. You guys think that's bare old, but it's genuinely not. To have all the things I have at 19, all these followers and the amount of people that see my face day in, it's a lot of stress, guys. Let me know, you lot, if I should post the vid or not. I obviously have the video. Guys, the people that think I don't, why would I do all of these videos and all these lives and everything and pushing the YouTube channel to not have the video? I'm not an idiot.
I honestly don't even know what to say. Like, he's so shameless. He's so obviously shithousing everyone. It's like those scams. You know those emails you get from, like, the Nigerian prince of Swindon? That's the most random. None of you know what Swindon is. Yo, big up all my viewers from Swindon, by the way. If you're from Swindon, leave a comment, because there's probably no one from Swindon watching this. But you know when you get those emails from, like, very obvious scammers, and the reason they do it is because the people who are dumb enough to respond are always going to be dumb enough to actually go through and follow through with the scam, right? It filters out everybody who is common sense or smart enough or just knows enough about the internet to not fall for it. That's what he's doing here. Anyone who knows anything is going to know this is fake, and he's filtering all those people out. So his entire audience is just full of melons, it's full of fucking donuts that'll believe anything he does, and I guess that's what he wants. And I understand that he's only 19 years old, and 19-year-olds aren't exactly the smartest people on the planet, but that's not really an excuse either, because I'm 20 years old. I was 19 years old not even a year ago. I wouldn't have done this shit at 19.
I'm sure a lot of you have realised that Smart Schoolboy 9 interview I released the other day was fake.
What? Oh, what? You could have fooled me. Fuck, this is like the Darth Vader. Modern day Darth fucking Vader. I mean, who could have seen that coming? Fuck me, what a surprise.
And let me tell you guys the reason why. Hand on my heart, this is nothing but the truth. Last week, I found out about Smart Schoolboy 9, and I have quite a young audience, and everybody seemed to know who he was. I saw how obsessed everyone was.
Great audio mixing, man. Seriously, I mean, you are the man when it comes to audio. So guys, this is why I did the video, right? I'm just gonna, this is honest truth, this is why I'm making this video.
The other day I found out about Smart Schoolboy 9 and it just made me so scared.
And yeah, basically that's the only reason I made this video. It was just, you know, because I just love you all so much.
And I even saw people making fake accounts on this weird guy. As I've mentioned before, I'm only 19 years old, which is very young in the content creator space. There's not many 19-year-old content creators at my level. And the whole time I've been on TikTok, YouTube, Snapchat, any social media, I don't think I've used my platform well enough to do something good for my audience. And I wanted to use this big viral opportunity to raise money for a charity called NSPCC, which was linked in the description of my YouTube video. If you don't know what this charity is, it is a child protection charity which helps raise awareness for child protection online. And due to my audience being very young, which is school children, because I make school content, I receive dozens and dozens of DMs every day from people saying, Ezekiel, I'm being bullied, or Ezekiel, it's hard at home, or Ezekiel, I broke up with my partner. And these are all children, and I can't really help dozens and dozens of people daily because I simply don't have the time. So I came up with this plan. The biggest way to push charity and push child protection was to make a video on Smart Schoolboy 9, as it is the biggest trend this year. But the only thing myself and my team didn't consider in the time of planning is my audience, plus external audiences who didn't know who I was, felt lied to and betrayed. However, saying all of that, I'm sorry from anyone from my audience or any external audiences that I've let down and betrayed. If you don't like me after this situation, I completely understand. And for the people who still genuinely enjoy my videos, you really mean the world to me, and you actually help me push every day and help me do things like this. For the people saying I did this for clout or money, unfortunately you are wrong, because I've made £0 from this whole situation. The YouTube video that went live was unmonetized, so £0 was made through that whole video. This was all for a good cause, and all the hate I'm getting for it is just a minor price to pay. And I'm going to go back to how I was and how I've always been. I've been in this room since I started my career. I try to remain as humble as possible within the UK, to young people especially, so I try my best. I love you all, thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you guys very soon with normal content again. Bye bye.
Yeah, so he's chatting more shit. Don't fall for this shit. He hasn't really raised awareness at all. Everybody already knows who Smart Schoolboy 9 is. I am willing to guess that not a lot of people, or not enough people to make a substantial difference, learnt about Smart Schoolboy 9 via Ezekiel. As much as he says he wasn't doing it for clout or money, he knew doing this would get him a lot more attention and a lot more, I hate this word, but I'll use it because he did, clout. And when you have that much more clout than you do before making those Smart Schoolboy 9 videos, what happens with that is you tend to have a lot more money as well, because the more views you get, the more money you get. It's simple. It really is simple. It also probably would have been a better idea, in my opinion, to monetize the video, because you're not actually supporting a real predator. It was a fucking bloke with black gloves on, and then donate all of the money made from the video to the charity, because the amount of people who actually click on links and go to the things that you promote in your videos is minimal, and you should know that as a content creator. It's also possible that you monetize the video and then unmonetized it for the sake of this one to, you know, gain the moral high ground. I'm not saying you did, by the way. I'm not making accusations, but it is possible. It is a thing that could have happened. Usually in situations like this, when you're actually trying to raise awareness, creators will put a screenshot up proving that they actually donated money to the charity that they're speaking of. That wasn't done in this case because he probably doesn't want to lose any money. The fact is, when you make 17 fucking videos on Smart Schoolboy 9, you are looking for clout. It's not to raise awareness. It just isn't. If you promoted this video as a comedy skit and tried to make it actually funny, honestly, it would have been fine. It would have been a lot more morally acceptable than actually trying to trick people and then lying about it when nobody believes in your shit to try and make yourself seem like the good person in this situation. And if you want more proof that this bloke doesn't give a fuck about morals, he did the exact same thing with a girl called Lexi Bonner. Lexi Bonner, for those who don't know, was a 14-year-old girl here in the UK who beat up and threw around and kicked about an 8-year-old autistic boy just because he wanted to join in on their game of football. Like Smart Schoolboy 9, though not to the same extent obviously, this became a pretty popular and widespread story. And Ezekiel, the moral arbiter that he is, went and did a fake interview with Lexi Bonner as well.
Has anybody been on Ezekiel's live? Somehow, absolutely no clue how he's managed it. He's got Lexi Bonner on it. He's had Lexi Bonner in his box like the guest thing. Mate, when I tell you, mate, he's kicking off. I'm so so confused at what was going on. It's been going on for like an hour, maybe even 2 hours now, and it is just pure chaos. That's the only way I can describe it. I feel so sorry for this man, because he has to put up with it all and try and like moderate it.
Obviously, Ezekiel did not get Lexi Bonner on his TikTok live, and anybody who believes that he did is an idiot, including this kid here telling the story, by the way. It's very clearly not her.
Ladies and gents, are we ready to hear Lexi? Oh my gosh, I'm excited.
Don't be excited for a dirty
Yo,
phone.
Ellie,
Listen, I don't know why you're trying to come rude to me, yeah? But you literally, your dad left like fucking Madeleine McCann. So I don't know why you're trying to come rude to me saying all this shit, yeah? When the boy literally was coming rude to me first. So you need to watch him out. You're fucking orange tranny. You're a scruff man. You're fucking Benny Rose. Look like fucking stuff. So I don't know why you're trying to stop. You need fucking it for that. Your mom took abortion pills and fucking failed. That's why you're a mistake. So watch him out.
Lexi, wait. Listen to me, yeah? Listen to me.
He does this with every controversy that suits him. He is completely shameless. Don't believe his shit. Now, one genuinely interesting thing that has come out of this whole debacle is, remember the Facebook account from a while back in the other videos that I was talking about might not actually be, you know, Smart Schoolboy 9, the David London Facebook account? Well, that very Facebook account has changed their bio recently to, I trim the display of less relevant posts to public, and 2, I've not granted interviews to anyone. So as it turns out, this very possibly and very probably is actually the real Smart Schoolboy 9's personal Facebook account. And that makes his posts a lot more freaky now, because he does talk about high-heeled boots, he does talk about, you know, the police a lot, and he does talk about school children a lot. It's a lot weirder now that we know it's actually him. In fact, in his latest post, he's talking about how great of a career being a police officer is, basically goading people once again. And then he has a post talking about the Premier League. He wants to expand the Premier League to 22 teams, which, for my American audience, is a fucking ridiculous, dumb idea. But in this post, he talks about 12-year-olds and 16-year-olds, and to anybody who isn't Smart Schoolboy 9, what he's saying here isn't necessarily creepy or bad at all. But now that we know who he actually is, any mention of children in any sort of context is always going to be fucking weird and creepy. In my last video, I mentioned that I had a bit of a problem with YouTubers, you know, acting as though the videos that Smart Schoolboy 9 put out were actually things that were going down and not just bad edit jobs. But I forgot to mention this, so I'll mention it now. There are a lot of YouTubers who are reading random Twitter DMs or Instagram DMs from people who claim to be people that they could very easily not be, like police officers or people who have met Smart Schoolboy 9 in any capacity, and just taking them at face value, right? Believing them. Like, there are some YouTubers who receive DMs from people who claim to be police officers in Doncaster who have met Smart Schoolboy 9 and had to fight him away from a school and genuinely believe them and present it in the video as though it's an actual fact. I'm not naming any names, once again, I'm not trying to throw any shade. Especially because I'm actually quite a big fan of a lot of these YouTubers. I just think that they fucked up this case quite a bit. I myself have received genuinely hundreds of DMs from people who claim to have met Smart Schoolboy 9, right? There's some people who say, oh, I work in a call center and he called me, I know it was him. And then there's some people who say, I lived in Milton Keynes and I saw him, he came to my school. Loads of people have given me stories, and a lot of them are contradictory. I know that most likely scenario is that none of them are fucking true. And that's not to discredit them at all. They may genuinely think that they have encountered Smart Schoolboy 9, but in my opinion, they're connecting dots. Maybe they're putting 1 + 1 together and getting 3. And the fact is, a lot of the stories contradict each other. Like, they can't all be true. So I would never come on one of these videos and show one of those DMs and present it as actual fact, especially when there's no evidence behind it. I think it would just be irresponsible of me to do. You don't need to pretend that obviously fake shit is real to make your video more enjoyable or watchable. Well, that's my mentality, at least. Another thing that's happened since my last video is that David Firth has been getting constant harassment and questions from people about Smart Schoolboy 9. Now, I talked about David Firth in my first video about this situation because he just so happened to live in that area where, you know, Smart Schoolboy 9 is predicted to have resided in, and he had an encounter with him, supposedly. I mean, it did sound pretty accurate. I personally don't automatically disbelieve him. I don't think it's total bullshit. I'm not saying it 100% happened either, though. I know that's sort of fence-sitting pish, but it's what I believe, genuinely. But either way, people are harassing him and they need to fucking stop. Here are his tweets. Please stop asking me about Smart Schoolboy 9. I replied to a DM a few weeks ago asking if I remembered this guy who would walk around Doncaster dressed as a schoolboy with weird makeup on. Yes, I walked past him in the town centre 20 to 25 years ago. I walked past him, that's all. Now I see posts and videos saying he has something to do with the creator of Salad Fingers. No, he doesn't. He was just your classic local lunatic. I was a teenager at the time. I only remembered because his appearance was striking. Now my DMs are full of TikTok detectives. Yeah, these TikTok and Reddit detectives really need to fuck off. That'll be a continuing trend, not only in this whole series of Smart Schoolboy 9 videos, but in this one particularly, because fuck me does this shit get insane. I never heard him talk or knew what he was up to or interacted with him in any way. He didn't say anything to me. Salad Fingers is not based on him. Please stop asking for information. I have said everything I remember. I kinda see why people think Salad Fingers is based on him. They do have a very familiar sounding voice. Okay, this piece of evidence here is actually incredibly interesting. Even if it's not true, it's a big coincidence and it is compelling to say the least. So as we all know, there are a lot of people who are speculating that Smart Schoolboy 9 was, you know, sexually attacked or abused when he was younger. Because it's quite an easy and, I guess, valid explanation for why he may act the way that he does today. Not that it excuses it, but it might explain it, make it a bit easier to understand. And recently, there has been some evidence to suggest that a teacher of his was actually arrested for, you know, sex attacks. Jeff Morrell, 65, was found guilty of 12 counts of sexual assault involving two pupils aged 14 and 15, committed over a period of 2 weeks. Morrell of Teddington, West London, was head of year at Stockwell Manor School in South London, where he had worked from 1973 to 1983. Now this is incredibly interesting because Smart Schoolboy 9 on one of his alt accounts, Zia Patel, where he would talk about himself in the third person, has confirmed that he has actually attended this very school in the past. There you go, he calls himself his half-brother once again. My half-brother, David, attended Stockwell Manor School from 1974 to 79. He wished he had transferred to Dunraven School, Streatham, because he'd learned that the specific support for traumatized pupils was greater there. He is aware that mistakes happened at Stockwell Manor. And what's even more compelling is that Smart Schoolboy 9 has a song called 1979 in his reservoir, right, on the David Lyricist archives. And if he really is 59, as a lot of people are speculating, then that means he was born in 1965, which means in 1979 he would have been 14 years old, just as the article stated was one of the victims' ages that this supposed teacher was sexually abusing. Now, Mr. Morrell, the teacher that was arrested, was also convicted of gross indecency with a rent boy and placed on a register of teachers who had committed sexual assaults. A rent boy, for those who don't know, is basically a sex worker, which, for those who remember, for those who are a bit astute, is a crazy coincidence because in that one post on the Google conversation thing in 1999, the person who encountered him in Tesco said that he was apparently a well-known rent boy in the area. And what's even more compelling is that the Stephanie Schooley account has named Jeff Morrell by name, saying that they should give him a chance. This may sound shocking to some, but if Jeff Morrell is still around, he should be given the chance to say something. Could this be some weird case of Stockholm Syndrome or some, like, weird trauma bond where he, you know, actually kind of likes his abuser? Is this all just a huge, massive, unbelievable coincidence? It's very difficult to tell, but at the very least, it's something that should definitely be put in this video because it's extremely interesting. It's pretty mad that he seems to have this weird fascination with 12 to 14-year-old boys, and he just so happened to supposedly be 14 when he was abused himself. And I mean, the evidence here is very compelling. This is not one of those weird reaches that those, you know, pseudo detectives have been making on Reddit and TikTok. This is a real, actual interesting find here. Now, once again, I'm not saying this to defend or excuse any of Smart Schoolboy 9's actions. I'm not bringing this story up as an excuse of any kind. It's just interesting as a manner of, you know, maybe understanding or explaining why he ended up this way in the first place. It does not make any of his simulated CP and weird fucking groomy behavior correct, though. It doesn't make anything any better, it just helps us understand it a bit more. It's really fucking interesting. Speaking of defending these weird creeps, I think there are a lot of people that are being very overdramatic when it comes to a lot of other people's treatment in regards to this whole situation. Like, you get a lot of posts like this of people who are just absolutely enraged that people would ever make a joke about this situation at all. Now, whether or not you think that's wrong or not is subjective, I guess. If you think that a situation like this deserves no room for humor, then that's your opinion, but I personally think that there isn't a lot wrong with making fun of a predator or a criminal. The P. Diddy case, for example, is real, with tons of evidence behind it. There's CCTV footage, and people make fun of P. Diddy all the time. They're not insulting his victims, they're not bringing light to the situation, they're just making fun of the horrible person involved. No one is cosplaying as Smart Schoolboy 9 because they like him or they want to defend him. They're making fun of him. And there's a huge difference there. People making fun of Jimmy Savile is not a defense of him. And in the UK, people make fun of predators all the time. It's like a sub-genre of comedy here. I'm not even joking. At the end of the day, it's just taking the piss out of somebody who's a bad person. And there's no need to be overdramatic about that. You can think it's wrong, that's fine. And I don't blame you for thinking that it's wrong. That's a totally fine opinion to have. But I would bet that a lot of these people who are, acting angry at the fact that people are doing stuff like this don't even actually care and just want to seem a bit more virtuous and moralistic. Here's a screenshot of Smart Schoolboy 9 under the alias of Stephanie Schooley making a bunch of donations to various charities, all of which are school-related, obviously. At least he's philanthropic, I guess? I mean, I guess it's good that something has gone to a good cause here. Even fucking Ezekiel didn't actually donate anything to the charity. Smart Schoolboy 9 has genuinely donated more to charity regarding this situation than Ezekiel has. That is fucking mental. I'm not comparing the two people, by the way. Smart Schoolboy 9 is a significantly worse person. I just think it's a funny observation. But yeah, he's donating to a bunch of charities that support young girls as Stephanie Schooley. I think, once again, it's because he enjoys the irony, right? He gets off on it. He loves and wanks off to the feeling of himself being an actual school child that is being preyed upon. We went over this last time. I'm not going to repeat it, but I think that's the reason he's making these donations. It's almost like a weird pay pig fetish thing in a weird roundabout way. Here's a strange tweet I found from the now deleted Stephanie Stansfield account, by the way. Hi, I greatly admire the efforts at FYI. My comment about safety in parks, and it does vary based on my experience, was made with good humour and insight, but I notice you've now unfollowed me. A tremendous shock that my humour was misunderstood. Oh my god. Okay, I'm recording. Jesus Christ, I thought I wasn't recording there. You have no idea how scared I was. A tremendous shock that my humour was misunderstood. Please refollow, it means so much. This is in 2021, I guess, right before he knew this thing was going to go as viral as it did. And he sounds a lot less like Stephanie Stansfield and a lot more like David London. Like, no 12-year-old girl speaks like this, even if they are mixed race. I found the joke, by the way. Thanks for such a good survey. I find that being near a good park where I and other kids feel safe is good for health, and avoiding play spaces where grown-ups with no relation to kids playing or drinking their heads off and competitively burping, mooing, weeing, and staring is wise. And I guess the FYI News for Kids Twitter account unfollowed them because of that, which they were very offended at. It's just more strange behavior that can be dated back to before this whole thing became viral, so it means that he's not doing it for attention, right? It is purely a fetish thing. Like, maybe he really is just that fucking bored. You've got this Facebook thread as well that started with someone asking if people remembered David London, to which the Stephanie Schooley account responds with the one who joined the police or the boy of the same name. Now, by this point, I think we've all learned that the best thing to do is fucking ignore him and stop interacting with him, but like I said at the beginning of this video, most people who know about this case are genuinely brain dead, and so this is what happened. Stephanie Schooley, you cur. Yo ass thinks she's sweet touching boys? Come on now. You think you're slick. No, he doesn't. He knows that you know it's not actually a 13-year-old girl. He fucking knows. He's not as dumb as you idiots think he is. And here he goes again with the classic Smart Schoolboy 9 antics, Bugs Bunny has "What's up, Duck?" and Smart Schoolboy 9 has "No, you're actually the nuts. You're preying upon me." I'm not too sure which catchphrase is more iconic, but in this day and age, probably Smart Schoolboy 9's, and I'm not even being ironic. Another account that has become quite infamous since my last video is one that goes by Wishful Thinking 62, which is just another very Smart Schoolboy 9-esque account with similar styles of posts and collages and blah blah blah. Now, unlike all the other ones, this one was made after the whole situation went viral, so in my opinion, it's most likely just bait. It's most likely just a weird bloke trying to impersonate him and be the new Smart Schoolboy 9 and trick people into thinking that, he is actually him, because the internet is fucking weird, and with how big this situation has become, there is no way that all of these new accounts are him. Some of them are bait. Here's another piece of art, or collage editing, I guess, from his Facebook account that came from 2020, and whilst it might just look like another bare-bones, simple, classic Smart Schoolboy 9 piece of artwork here, for those who have been paying attention to this whole case, it is the exact same piece of collage work that was sent to the Salmon Youth Centre that we talked about in the last video. So all this does is merely confirm that it was actually him, without a shadow of a doubt. And I think that's a really good find, because for a lot of this situation, I sort of have to be annoying and sit on the fence at least slightly, because I don't want to give any definitive answers. And I guess technically, because I'm not a lawyer, I still can't, but go fuck yourself. This is pretty fucking definitive right here. Here's another really strange one. When you go on Google Maps and go onto like Street View, on the address in Doncaster that he is, you know, I guess theorized to reside in, this is what you can see on one of the windows of the houses that is like in the area. And from that far away, it looks a bit like one of his edits, but I don't know. This one's a bit wishy-washy. I just thought I'd throw it in because why not? People should not blindly believe this, or like the wishful thinking account either. A lot of the people in these Reddits are so gullible, it's unbelievable. The amount of posts that you get which are like, I found his new Instagram, I found his new Facebook, I found his new TikTok, this has to be him. No, it's not. It's never him. It will probably never be him. You're all so fucking gullible, and you're all so goddamn stupid that it's unbelievable. I'm being hyperbolic. You're not all stupid. That is very rude and mean of me to say. In fact, most of the people who have watched my videos on the topic have been fucking lovely about it. Like, they really appreciate the way that I've done it, and I really appreciate that you know, can see the effort that I put into these videos. Now, that being said, not everyone has thought critically about it when they watch my videos. I have received so many comments calling me a defender of pedophilia. The amount of people who have come at me saying, hey man, it's kind of weird how you're defending a predator here, like you shouldn't really be doing that. For the love of God, I am not defending a predator, I'm just not mindlessly attacking them. And the reason I'm not mindlessly attacking them is because for a lot of the evidence that these fucking pseudo-detectives post could very easily not actually be about him. So if I were to take it at face value and attack them as much as people want me to, I could very possibly be attacking somebody who isn't Smart Schoolboy 9. That's why I was being cautious with the David London Facebook account. I mean, we know now that it's him, but it's better safe than sorry. Imagine if it wasn't him. Imagine how fucking disgusting this whole thing would be for the poor man who runs that Facebook account if it wasn't actually Smart Schoolboy 9. Now, me pointing out that it might not be Smart Schoolboy 9 is not me defending a file. That shit is ridiculous. All I'm doing is thinking critically and not being as definitive as a lot of other people are. That doesn't mean I'm defending anybody.
Hi, I've reported you to the police for stalking. You got the wrong person, so I don't know who you are.
Smart Schoolboy 9 is back, and he is more insane than ever.
And you mentioned schoolboys? Why do you like Smarty School Kid 9 or whatever? That's a young boy.
Yeah, he's gone off the rails. It's pretty wild, to be honest with you. Now, I, like many of you, thought that this whole thing was over. I thought this was just a fad that the internet had, and they got over it pretty quickly, but unbeknownst to me, a lot of stuff has been going on behind the scenes, and David's been sending voice messages to pretty much everyone who messages him. I think one big reason that a lot of people don't know about this stuff is that the original Reddit where most YouTubers were getting the information from was actually taken down for violating Reddit's harassment policies. Now, luckily, not only am I one of the few who's in the private subreddit, but I've also had a lot of my lovely viewers send me messages and voice messages that they've received from David.
Hi, I've reported you to the police for stalking. You got the wrong person, so I don't know who you are. So, bye.
I thought we'd start with this one because he's still doing the weird schoolboy voice that we all know and love, and I don't want to escape our comfort zones quite yet. Although this is an interesting outlook onto what we come to see in the future, because you can actually hear his real voice seep through the cracks there. Maybe he's hit some sort of second puberty where he can't do the voice as well anymore. Or maybe his roommate is in the other room, because apparently there's people that live with him, like, in the house. He's not in a one-bedroom house. He lives with people. Could you fucking imagine living with this bloke? Surely they know. Like, they have to have walked in whilst he was in his high heels and white makeup or something. There's no way they don't know. So yeah, maybe he's recording this voice message like a bit more quiet. Doesn't want to go full in with the voice or shout too much because Big Barry's in the other room and is probably going to kick his head in if he finds out what he's been up to. I'd also like to comment on the fact that he is sending this voice note through the David London Facebook account. So I don't know why David would choose to do this sort of, I'm Smart Schoolboy 9. Get away from me now. I hate you from the David account, because it's sort of just a dead giveaway that the David account is actually him. Did he forget to switch accounts or something? Like, is this guy fucking stupid? Probably not. I think he's doing it on purpose. Or he is just that tapped in the head. Who knows? The later voice messages where he uses his real voice are a lot more revealing, but, you know, we'll start with All Familiar. One thing I wasn't quite expecting from voice notes like this was just how sassy he is, though.
Got the wrong person, so they don't know who you are, so...
I'll be honest, in every other aspect of school life, the bloke's clueless. He doesn't know how to act like a school kid at all, but he's kind of nailed it on this one. The tones, the mannerisms, he's so sassy. To all the girls watching this who like sassy men, if this doesn't get your beef curtains in a twist, then I don't know what will. Okay, let's listen to one of the voice notes where he shows his true self, so to speak.
Hello there, I understand that you have some wrong information, but I've got some information on you. You have described yourself as some sort of pedophile. Certainly you should not be texting strangers, because I have worked and do work at detective level.
Okay, we'll stop there because there's already so much going on. First of all, I don't know where he gets the idea that the commenter was describing themselves as that from, because if you read the message he sent, he's calling him one. So this could be another case of him sort of projecting like what he is on other people, which he has a habit of doing. If you've seen any of my other videos, he says stuff like, you're probably wanking as you text me these messages or read my messages, because that's exactly what he's doing. He even has a video of himself wanking into a mirror. You know the level of narcissism that shit takes? I mean, we can read the messages that this bloke sent that spurred this voice message on. You're preying on vulnerable children. You're a predator. No lie or disguise will shield you from the consequences of your actions. You will be found out. Now, I've said this many times before, but I think it's incredibly silly to message the bloke at all. However, I will say, it's very clear at this point that the police aren't going to do fucking anything. He's just not online enough or overtly illegal enough for the police to care, in my opinion. So as much as people shouldn't be messaging him, it's for different reasons now. There's nothing like, oh, they're going to ruin the police investigation or foil the case or anything like that, because there is no case. Let's be fucking honest here. Because let's remember, we're in the United Kingdom, baby. If you chop someone's head off, you only get like 10 years here. They're not going to care about some bloke making weird collages on fucking Instagram, are they? But yeah, that's another running trend on these voice notes. He describes himself as a detective. He says that, oh, I'm a detective working on cases like this, and you should not be doing what you're doing right now because it's frankly disgusting.
So I don't like pedophiles and what or who you are.
I also question how real this voice is as well, because, I mean, we know the Smart Schoolboy voice, hello, we know that one's fake. I mean, needless to say, we don't need to fucking deliberate on it. But this one, I'm not too sure, because he uses the American pronunciation of and the British one. Is it just some sort of purposeful misdemeanor to throw us off base or something? Who knows? Maybe he's secretly an American.
Not to harass people or lie about yourself being in law enforcement. That is not true, and you should not be lying to someone who has experience of your sort. Please do not message again.
He's definitely not any part of that detective shit, by the way, because no credible detective worth their salt would send messages like this, hundreds of messages like this, to fucking any random... I almost said the C word. Who messages them? I feel like a real detective would just quietly note it down, take it in for evidence, and, you know, put it in a folder somewhere. They wouldn't go off the rails, you motherfucker, you should never do this! We're never gonna do this ever! That shit's just weird, degenerate behavior, which is what you are, to be fair. Not you, David, obviously. You're probably lovely. I say probably, I don't know for sure. You could be a prick.
Certainly do not talk about young school children, because the young schoolboy, smart school kid 9, that is a young boy.
He's pretending not to know the name. He's pretending like he doesn't know what Smart Schoolboy 9 is. What? What? Silly school child? Silly... Bastardly... What are you talking about? Smart swindling fellow? Smart school kids 94? You... What on... earth are you talking about, you silly sausage, you? You're not fooling anyone, David. Are you even... I don't know if you're even trying to fool anyone, but it's really funny. See, this is the thing, right? You might have noticed I'm a lot more jovial in this one than the other 3 Smart Schoolboy 9 videos, because beforehand there was like this air of mystery around it, the fear of the unknown, that made the situation so much scarier than it probably has any right to be. Like, I remember having genuine trouble sleeping after one night. This fucking guy's not worth me losing sleep over, to be quite honest with you. But now, to be frank, David doing voice messages like this at such a constant, consistent rate makes him way less frightening to me, because he's just a fat, horny idiot, isn't he? He was on the internet every now and then. Like, don't get me wrong, he's absolutely a degenerate who's participated in some absolutely degenerate shit, like, you know, simulated CP and the likes, and taking random pictures of children from the internet and posting them on your Instagram isn't exactly normal behavior, is it? As well as interacting with many children on the apps and websites under the alias of, you know, his many accounts. That's not exactly normal either. In fact, it goes beyond not normal and into, you know, predatory territory. But the fact that behind it all it's just some weird fucking English bloke makes him way less scary. If he wanted to keep the fear factor, he should have just remained unmasked. But that being said, he does say a lot of revealing shit here. Not this one in particular, but he goes on some, like, religious rants in the future, and it makes you wonder what his moral compass is exactly.
That is a young boy. It isn't me, so stop trying to pretend that it is me. Is that clear? Thank you very much.
I mean, he's still just as sassy as a blokey bloke than he is as a smarty schoolboy. Also, as funny as it is that he's pretending not to know who Smart Schoolboy 9 is, he's also talking about how, actually, he is a real school child. I am clearly not a real school child, so we can't be the same person. Even though he has been sending voice messages with that voice from the exact same Facebook account. It makes me wonder how much of this is genuine idiocy or just him trying to have a laugh. But he does sound actually quite pissed off in a lot of these voice notes. I guess in some ways his facade just won't die. He still wants people to think that Smart Schoolboy 9 is a real schoolboy. Which makes sense when you consider the real life sightings of him. New pictures have come out, by the way, since the last time we spoke about this. I'll put them on screen right now. This is mental. How can you actually go out in the open like this and not have been bricked already? The fact that you're still alive, mate, is honestly a miracle. And then we have the story of when he went into Tesco in like the 90s, so I mean, it really does seem like some of this is real. Like, he genuinely wants people to believe he's a real school kid, and it's still probably true that that gets him off. Like, that's a weird kink for him.
Right, so you've received that message because your ugly little face has showed up as being having seen it. You know what I mean. So do not make stupid accusations and assertions about people.
Oh, David's getting angry. What's he gonna do? He might start raising his voice. He might start putting them up. Put them up, tough guy. Why I order? D in David stands for dangerous, as we all know. Dangerous, arsehole, vernacular, inside of dogs.
So do not make stupid accusations and assertions about people, because you are a predator and you do not look like someone who could be trusted. Don't make any further comments. It is worthless. You have made some mistake. I accept, and my friends at detective level do accept that you've made some mistake, because you're probably drinking whatever it is you're into, and certainly, please do not make stupid suggestions and suppositions. Okay, thank you very much, sir. Good night.
Went a bit cockney at the end there. I'm not sure why he did that, because the rest of the voice note did not sound very cockney at all. And from everything we know, he's nowhere near cockney. He's like from Doncaster or Milton Keynes. Neither of which is very close to anywhere that would produce a cockney accent. If saying the word cockney gets me demonetized, by the way, I'm gonna fucking flip out. Also, for as much as you say you accept that the person may have made a mistake, you sound very angry. You called him a disgusting wee weasel. You said your ugly little face does not belong here or whatever. Which implies the sender, like, sent these messages from a public account where his face is just visible. That's pretty silly of you, mate.
Also, just to conclude, it is the Feast of Tabernacles in God's church, and that's why Satan has used you to make stupid allegations. Satan has used you to text complete strangers. Why would you do that for people who are keeping God's feasts faithfully? Do not have any contact with strangers and make silly allegations. It makes you look like some sort of satanic predator. Why would you do that? Do not do that. I accept you've made a mistake. My detective colleagues also accept that you've made a mistake, providing you stop messaging people.
See what I mean? When he gets angry, the cockney comes out. He goes, Why would you do such a thing? If you do that one more time, I'm gonna fucking enter your ass and stab you in the heart, you knob. Kind regards, Smart Schoolboy 9. I think he's just a yapper, to be honest. I mean, it sounds like he's drinking something. I don't know what he's smoking, snorting, injecting, but the only thing I do know is that I want whatever he's having, because fuck me, does it sound good. The fact that he brings up religion and God is rather curious, to be honest with you. Like, maybe there is a slim chance that he genuinely uses religion, or, like, actually believes his religious beliefs to be, like, some sort of vessel for moral righteousness. Like, he might genuinely believe that what he is doing is moral, and that those who stand against him are controlled by Satan or some weird bullshit like that. I'm not saying it's 100% true. The likelihood is that he's just saying things to pretend to be crazy or be seen as crazy, possibly as some sort of legal defense, but most likely just to fuck with people. Or maybe, once again, he is just on a fuckload of drugs. I couldn't tell you. There's so many possibilities here, and Smart Schoolboy 9 has never been the easiest person to read. He's no The Hungry Caterpillar, let me tell you. He's more of a Ulysses by James Joyce. Big up all the literary fans who get that reference, by the way.
Hello there. I don't know how often you message the people who are helping with the police, but I will tell you now, you fucking pedophile. You ring me again or text me again, you will be under arrest. Now fuck off and do not do that again.
He sounds like your average Xbox 360 voice chat bloke. Like you kill him one too many times in Call of Duty and he just fucking sends you this voice message.
Actually, I know how to hack into Xboxes and I will find your location, come over to your ass and fucking beat you up or some shit. I'll beat you up so silly that you'll shit yourself and then I'll slap my dick on the table and come all over you, you wee bitch.
This is what I mean. These completely just meaningless, baseless threats that are obviously not going to happen make him way less scary to me. Did you receive the message, you dirty bastard, falsely accusing me? Now fuck off, you dirty bastard. I don't know how messaging a 60-year-old man would make someone a child lover, for lack of a better term, but you seem very confident in your assertion that he is one of them. I mean, who knows? We don't know what the bloke here was messaging him. Maybe he was saying, like, you know what, low-key, I kind of agree with your views on things, and God, can you send me that new collage you made? I highly doubt that, though. It's also interesting that he's no longer projecting, like, his insecurities or what he is doing onto other people whenever he decides not to. Sometimes, like, in voice messages like the one we just listened to, he just falsely accuses people of falsely accusing him. It seems as though that's his new go-to tactic. Here's another set of texts which starts with a lovely message. They got no response, so they messaged him like 3 hours later. Imagine double texting Smart Schoolboy 9. Come on now, how desperate can you be? You're better than that random Redditor who probably thinks they're a lot more involved in this investigation than they are. You have described yourself. You have messaged a completely different individual to the one you assume to be. I work with the police. Yet again, this bloke double texts him. You stop double texting Smart. Texting him in the first place is embarrassing enough, but double texting him because you don't get a reply from your crush is, God, that's so much worse. And he does it multiple times. He uses the forbidden jutsu like twice. I love that he doesn't directly deny being a pedophile either, but he does deny that he's frail. He's got priorities. I respect that. Puts the important stuff first.
Hi, do you often message complete strangers that work with the police? And you mention schoolboys? Why do you like Smarty School Kid 9 or whatever? That's a young boy.
Smarty School Kid 9? So I think this one's just more of the same. It's him pretending not to know who Smart Schoolboy 9 even is, and then claiming that he is a little boy. I don't know why this 60-year-old man is acting as though everyone knows Smart Schoolboy 9's a little boy. In his world, is he like a celebrity? Or is he a local that everyone just knows? No one's real name is Smart Schoolboy 9. I don't know exactly what his goal is here, or what he thinks we're thinking.
Now, let us tell you this here. Me and my colleagues, we do genuinely work with the police at detective level. We're not lying to you. You have messaged the wrong person, some random number or whatever information that you had is bogus. So we're going to ask you very nicely to not persist. Thank you very much. Do not inquire about schoolboys that you like, that are age 8, 9, 10, 11, whatever. But certainly you are a grown man and should not be messaging strangers with that sort of chat. It's silly and people are very busy. Thank you. Good night.
David, from everything we've seen so far, you seem like the least busy person on the planet. Police officers and detectives are usually busy people. So busy, in fact, that they can't even respond to their close family members. You're responding to every random person who messages you on Facebook Messenger. You respond to emails from fucking frogs in the woods, from fairies in dustbins. The common housefly could buzz into your room and you'd probably engage in some weird philosophical conversation with it. I mean, I don't mean to be judgmental here, but there's no way you have friends. Okay, you're all gonna have to brace yourselves for this one, because this one's a real bloody doozy.
She's done that. She's come out. Dunno. Hello? It's got a call. Oh no. I think she's scarpered. Hey, Jeff. Do you know where is it? Yeah. Oh, I don't know. Well, I don't know either.
Okay, there's a couple options here. Option 1, this is proof that he is genuinely mentally ill and needs to be treated as soon as possible. Or 2, the more favourable option, he's just an up-and-coming voice actor wanting to show off his talents and make a show reel. Because 3 voices? Man, that's pretty impressive, isn't it? Smart Schoolboy9 unironically has more vocal range than a lot of professional voice actors. I mean, you put him in with a Jack Black or a Chris Pratt, then he'd probably blow them out of the water, to be honest with you. I mean, not acting-wise, but in terms of, like, voice range, I think he'd have it.
Hi.
Hello? I don't know. I really don't know. It's like she's sick in the head. I think it's a guy. She says Christina Parker. It could, you know the nurse that kept texting you. Ask Jeff. Where's he gone? Ask him. Hello? Of course, obviously, you're not going to call back. I dare you. Call me back. Make a phone call. Who are you? I'll ring you. Don't worry about it.
Okay, that is genuinely actually quite frightening. Like, I know I've been saying this whole time that I'm a little more jovial this time, a little bit less scared, but if he sent me that message and then actually tried to call me, which he did here, I don't think I would be the bravest boy in the world. I think I would have answered just out of curiosity because, like, what purpose could that possibly serve him? I don't know why he's offering to call them up. Genuinely, that's really, really weird. What a weird bloke. There's also the secret third option, which I didn't cover earlier. Maybe there is actually just 2 people here? I don't think so, though. Like, you never hear them talking over each other at the same time. It's always, oh, hello, I'm Smart Schoolboy9. Oh, yeah. I don't have the willpower or wit to make up actual conversation there, so that's all you're getting. At the very least, I think we can confidently say that he seems to be having fun with this. He seems to love it when certain people message him, maybe depending on the severity or the coherency or vocal fluency that people message him with, sort of connotes or defines how angry he gets, but for this one, he seems to be having a lot of fun. Maybe he was in a good mood that day. It was probably his favorite time of the week, like, I don't know, maybe a Friday at 3 p.m. for no particular reason. Anyway, as much as I was just taking the piss about him wanting to be a voice actor, it turns out that there's actually a voice acting reel that he has made, or what he claims to be a comedy sketch, but there's not really anything funny in it. It is a reel, though, because he describes it as versatile voice acting, clear recordings, and all materials suitable for listeners of all ages. Let's have a listen, shall we?
Yeah, hi. Did you need to see me?
Well, yeah, there's a discrepancy here that I want to talk about.
Well, I might have miscounted the odd pound or 2.
Well, there's a discrepancy of $23 million that I've had to pay now from my own pocket.
Right, well, I owe you a pint.
Oh, great. Really good. That really adds up.
I mean, I don't know about you, but that is some side-splitting, knee-slapping comedy right there. I can't wait for Netflix to pick this guy up. No, not for a surviving Smart Schoolboy 9 documentary, but for a comedy special, of course. I mean, you heard it. Do you see why I find him a lot less intimidating than I did before? Intimidating's not the right word. Frightening really is the word here. Or creepy. Like, he's still a creep, don't get me wrong, but he comes across a lot less creepy. It's like he's trying too hard now, because at some points he tries to come across as like a hard man who'll beat you up. But anyway, here's him putting his voice acting ability to good use.
Hi there, Peter. You've got the wrong number.
Yeah, that sounds like a totally reasonable response to getting a wrong... I don't know about you, but when someone messages me, like, with the wrong number, I find it so hilarious, I just giggle my wee bum off. Ha 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 ha! You got the wrong number, you fucking loser! I genuinely think that he's... fucking cuckoo. By the way, I mean, we thought the double texting was bad. Look at this bloke. Like, holy shit, dude. How fucking desperate can you be? Why on earth would you message a stranger, me, and chat about your fetish? And Stephanie is only 12 or 13, so do not text kids and strangers. I guess some habits never die. He's still doing the exact same thing that he was doing when, you know, he was messaging people with the Smart Schoolboy 9 account. He's projecting his own fetishes, his own kinks onto other people when they message him, and he's still acting as though Stephanie is a real girl. But then this bloke just like puts his address in or whatever, which is the one that got leaked a while back, but he didn't even put the right fucking one in. And I look like a pervert? You are a 59 dressing up like an 8-year-old on Instagram. I have a pic here. It's good the cops are looking into you. I will not talk to you further, creep. Bear that in mind. He says he won't talk to him further. I know I should be criticizing David here, but fuck me, this bloke messaging him clearly thinks he's so smart. But he's so dumb that he just needs to be... he needs to be humbled a bit. Fuck you. We know you, David. Don't talk to me. What do you mean, don't talk to me? You have been messaging him this whole time. If you don't want him to talk to you, don't talk to him. You... oh my god, you clod! That's not me, you pervert. That's a young boy, and experts have proven that. Experts have proven that he's a young boy. Why would you need a fucking expert to do some CIA DNA analysis of whether or not someone's a young boy? Just check the fucking birth certificate or their ID, surely. Looks much better than you, dirty old man messaging me. So you think a young boy looks a lot better than a grown man? You're sort of exposing yourself here, David. And... 2 full stops. I work as a detective. I like his use of grammar. Also, I'm working in Newcastle. I'm not in Doncaster, so your fiction and fantasy is of no use to anyone. So he's claiming to be a Geordie here. I guess he just switches the location up every time someone messages him. Whatever he feels like for that day, he'll just pick that. Newcastle, for my American audience, is where Greg's was made, and Greg's, for my American audience, is what heaven looks like. That young kid is 59. So much for not messaging him, you fucking idiot. I'm sorry, it's difficult not to hate both of you. Like, there's a way to message him in a way that's almost tactful, but you're doing it in such a way that's like, oh, it's so clear how cool you think you are doing this. You're not cool for doing this. Seriously, go touch some grass, or have a pint, or meet a mate, or just anything that isn't this. Everybody knows who you are. No need to lie, David Alter. We are not perverts. We are cyber sleuths. Fuck me. Seriously, go away, you weirdo! I mean, that tells you everything you need to know about this guy. He's proudly proclaiming himself to be a weird internet couch detective. That's not something to be proud of, arsehole. You trolling like a bitch, ain't you tired? Trying to strike a chord, and it's probably a minor... How do you somehow come across as more unlikable than Smart Schoolboy 9 when you're messaging him? You're not funny, guy. Like, at all. You're sending Family Guy gifs to Smart Schoolboy 9. Can we just acknowledge here that there is someone out there whose whole life has led to the pivotal moment where they send Family Guy gifs to Smart Schoolboy 9. If you're watching this, guy, seriously, take a look at yourself and just have a wee think. That's all I'm gonna say.
We don't know you, and we don't know why you're texting detectives. So we ask that you don't do that. Thank you.
What the fuck? He's trying to do a Geordie accent because he said he was from Newcastle. I don't know if the Americans will find this as funny as we do, but fuck me. If you know anything about Newcastle, you'll know how awful that accent was and how fucking hilarious this is. Once again, I don't know if he's just taking the piss here, or if he's cuckoo, or if he's trying genuinely to, like, deceive us. All I do know is that this might be the funniest thing to come out of this case. He's trying to do a fucking Geordie accent because he said he was Geordie. He fucked himself. He really has. Imagine you go to a Greg's and Smart Schoolboy 9 sat next to you. What would he order, I wonder? Definitely like a vegan sausage roll or something. The wrongin'. I say that, the vegan sausage rolls at Greg's are actually pretty nice. I don't know what that says about me, but There you go. There you go. You got fucking Sherlock Holmes continuing to message them. Once again, can we just rewind a couple seconds when he said, I will not be talking to you anymore? It seems like all he does is talk to him. Like, he responds so quickly. Even David takes a couple hours or even a day or two between responses. This guy immediately, the second he gets a fucking text, he's on it. He's on it like that. He's still doing it. He's still doing it. We don't know who or what you are fictitiously alleging, other than what your mental illness or your demon possession causes you to fantasize about. So there you go. That's the demon being mentioned once again. Maybe it's a real thought he's having. Maybe he's just that religious or that, I guess, what's the word? Conspiratorial. Superstitious? That's the word. Superstitious.
Say, Drake, I hear you
I'm not going to play the rest of that. It's copyrighted, but it's just this bloke thinking that he's funny once again. You're not funny. Seriously. You're not funny. Anyone who laughs at any of this bloke's jokes, unsubscribe from the channel. And if I lose any subscribers, fuck, I'll be disappointed that you even watch us to begin with. If my entertainment value is on the same level as this fucking guy, I don't know how I have as many subscribers as I do. Now, we've just gone from the worst possible way to contact anybody who you want information out of to probably the best way that I've seen someone do it. Hey, is Smart Schoolboy 9 a real schoolboy? Some people have said that he also goes by the name David London. That's why I'm messaging you. Do you by chance know him in any way? Are you him? I'm not here to annoy you or start any arguments, I promise, I just want to know. This is the best way to talk to him if you are going to talk to him. Obviously, the best way to contact him would genuinely just to be not contact him at all, because it's useless, it's pointless, it achieves fucking nothing, and just puts you in potentially unnecessary danger. If you really do feel compelled to do it, like you're being pulled by some spirit to do it, this is the best way to do it. Be respectful, because if you shout at him and come in with allegations and just be like, you sick fuck, he'll just shell up and not tell you anything. How old is Smart Schoolboy 9? 9. He is said to be from another reality. Don't believe lies about what CERN is really for. The military are aware if it and the lower Earth plane, there's a struggle, but the higher planes are winning. The Smart Schoolboy is from a higher version of the universe. There are other realities, and that's why good people get lied about when they've helped the good side. Hoping that helps. Sorry to then block, but it is advised. So maybe he is just extremely superstitious and grew up in some weird cult that has conditioned him to act this way. I think something like this, though, is just him really pretending to be crazy, like going on some weird rant about CERN, talking about the devil. It all fits into, like, this fake mental bullshit. I can't say for sure, obviously, but that's what it reads as to me. Now, guys, I know this might shock you, but the WWE get involved in this because Hulk Hogan himself posts a picture of Smart Schoolboy 9. What a reality we live in, where Hulk Hogan, American retired legendary wrestler, is interacting with Smart Schoolboy 9. Noted internet weirdo. Nope, sorry, that's not me. Random photo. No doubt. That isn't me, I promise you that. I'm gonna stop with the Cockney accent. It's probably really lame. It's just a James Giant bowl, but you look like shit. No, you yourself are a fully grown man pretending to be a child. You seem desperate to pretend that's a man when it is clear from his young face and skin quality that he is a boy. I don't know about you, but I wouldn't exactly describe this picture here as having the face of a young boy. And that skin quality also does not scream young boy. It screams red-faced gammon head. It looks like he's come out of fucking Chernobyl. But then he switches the story up and says the guy walking along in the other photo is some random guy, probably from a theater group. Have you heard of theatrical groups? Whatever theater group it may be, I hope they're reaching the end of their performance, because this shit is just as weird as I remember. We've only ever heard voicemails before, but this time he's actually answered the phone to someone who's called him.
You sound like a girl.
Never mind what I sound like.
Is this Stephanie?
No. You hacked John's account. You're the one who hacked. You're a criminal, and you hacked.
I think it's really interesting that he's actually answering calls. And by the way, it's so different to how we originally perceived him. Like, he was so much scarier before we knew what he actually sounded like in real life. I feel like, in a way, he's almost afraid he wouldn't be relevant anymore if he didn't do something crazy, and I guess revealing himself is the best option he could think of, but it sort of removed the mystique and fear that people had of him, in my opinion at least. Like, now he's just some weird fucking fat idiot in Milton Keynes. I don't think anybody intimidating has come out of Milton Keynes ever. In fact, you know what? Let's have a look. Got Andrew Bagley, a table tennis player. Impressive skill, don't get me wrong, but not exactly the most intimidating. Like, if I was in a street fight, I wouldn't be like, oh, Well, you should be careful. I've got my mate, the table tennis player, with me. You've got a track and field athlete, Greg Rutherford. Once again, I don't think it's possible to be scary and have the name Greg. I don't think anybody has ever uttered the words, oh fuck, Greg's coming, we need to be careful. He is a runner though, so if danger does approach, he can just skedaddle away, I guess. Anyway, we're going off topic. Back to this phone call. I think it's especially interesting how the people who call him think that they're almost egging him on, and they're very entertained by the reaction that they're getting from him, when in reality, in my opinion, he's the one who has you on strings, and you making it seem as though it's like an epic prank, you're like pranking Smartschoolboy9 or whatever and goading this reaction out of him, only goes to show how naive you actually are. That's not me having a go at this kid anymore. Like, he sounds like a kid, he's just doing what kids do. Now, that being said, I'm not saying that he should be calling him. I don't think anybody should be contacting Smartschoolboy9, and I still stand by that. Anyone watching this video, if you have the urge to message him or contact him in any way, don't fucking do it. There is no reason to do it other than some sick, weird, personal enjoyment or like an ego thing. There's no good reason to message him, in my opinion. I think if you message him for any reason whatsoever, then you're a bit of a weirdo. I'll be honest with you. But yeah, he's clearly playing a character, man. Like, he's not sat there going, no, you hacked into my account. Seriously. He's not that ill. Or maybe he is that ill, but not in that sort of way. Like, he knows right from wrong. He knows what he's doing, and he knows how he is being perceived by the people on the internet, and so he's playing into that character. And the fact you're so entertained by it, as though you're sort of bringing this out of him, this hidden side of him out of him, you need to get a grip. But also, the fact that he actually has answered his calls, the fact that he's answering calls now, not just leaving them at voicemails, shows that he's also not as scared as he was before, because he took down all of his accounts. He shat the bed and deleted everything. When the Nick Crowley video came out, the Smartschoolboy9 thing, Stephanie Schooley, most of his accounts were completely shut down because he was probably pissing himself. I guess maybe now he's come to the realization that there's nothing anybody can really do, so now he's just answering calls willy-nilly, doing whatever the fuck he wants, really. Which almost makes it more sick, because when he was scared, it's like, oh, there's an argument to be had that he regrets his decision, he's definitely not happy that it's out now, but now, it seems as though he's almost having fun with it, and that really gets to me.
Hi there, I don't know who you are, but you sound like a very dangerous female people. You've confused yourself. I'm not the smart schoolboy. That's a real young boy, very young, maybe 9 or 10 years of age.
Once again, he's forgotten to exit the David account, his personal account, and he's doing that weird, admittedly rather impressive child's voice. I mean, it's not that it sounds like a child, but it's different to his regular voice. I'll give him that, I guess. The acting isn't great, but the vocal range, there's something to be admired there. This time, though, it's especially uncomfortable because he's extra close to the mic. He can hear every wee mouth sound, every morsel of spit salivating through his fucking massive mouth and tongue. We all know he loves a good bit of tongue action, for lack of a better term. He's probably fucking salivating at the thought of the child that he's talking to. By the way, guys, when it comes to the whole tongue thing, this is off topic, I know, but a lot of people have been telling me that I have the same weird tongue thing that Smartschoolboy9 does, and I really do take great insult to that. Like, yeah, I get it. My tongue is a bit too big for my mouth. I can't control that. It's not my fault that my jaw is fucked. But at least I don't go around flaunting that fact and wanking off in front of mirrors going like he does. That's probably a regular occurrence in his life, by the way. It wouldn't surprise me if he's wanking while sending these fucking voice messages, and I'm not even joking, by the way. Like, I know I'm saying he's playing a character to an extent, but there's no doubt that he's a fucking odd guy. An odd guy who is still, in my opinion, way too dangerous for people to just be interacting with so frivolously.
You shouldn't be messaging strangers. I haven't listened to all of your message because you're obviously quite unstable. So bye-bye. Hi there. Well, obviously you're a mentally unstable woman. You're not a teenage girl. I'm a very clever individual, and I've no doubt that you are maybe paid to do what you do, to harass people. So that person is guilty, and you're guilty for being a going along with another
Go away.
It's so difficult to tell how much of this is him actually trying to convince people that he is what he says he is. I think we have to remember that we're trying to analyze the mind of a genuinely sick freak here. It's not as easy as psychoanalyzing somebody like me or you, you know, people who feel bad when they hurt their friends' feelings, for example. This is not one of those people. But it's like, I just don't know what voice he's doing here, because it's different from the Smart Schoolboy. He sounds like an old woman, for fuck's sake. He sounds like an old woman who's just smoked 20 packs of cigarettes. And it really does confuse me that he deletes messages as well, because the ones he does send, the minute-long monologues that he does send, are so outrageous. I can only imagine what he thinks is too much that he has to delete it. This is a weird one. So a Facebook account posted a picture of their cat, and it's a very innocent photo of a rather cute cat, in my opinion. And our hero, the protagonist of this anime, David London, as always, had to chime in with an excellent retort to a post that doesn't even need a reply. He says, "You fuck cats," and it's the one reply to this bastard post. What is this guy's obsession with everything shagging everything? You could post a picture of a beautiful sunset on your magnificent wedding day, and he would go, "Ooh, you want to shove your dick in the sun? Why do you want to fuck the sun so bad, guy?" You'd realize that would hurt quite a bit, don't you? It's just a picture of a cat. I guess it's on a bed, if you want to. I don't even know why I'm fucking going there. Where was I going with that, man? But this is it, man. Ever since this whole case started, he somehow has turned himself from a weird, ominous, scary figure who people were genuinely afraid of to, like, a bit more of a well-known, I guess, unmasked sort of freak. And now he's just a straight-up lolcow. I don't know anybody who is still actually scared of him. I don't know anybody who is losing sleep over him anymore. There was definitely a stage where I was having a couple nights, like, struggling to sleep thinking about it, because it was a bit disturbing to me. And as much as I say people still shouldn't be messaging him or attempting to contact him in any way whatsoever, I'm not really scared of him anymore, if that makes sense. Anyway, the original poster of the lovely black cat commented on this Reddit post saying this. So, I was the one who originally uploaded that on Facebook. He basically got mad at a comment I wrote to someone else about him. I was telling them how David projects and distorts events in his posts. He started calling me a demon, and then when I replied, he started cussing at me. That comment is deleted now. And then went over to my profile to comment under a photo of my cat, for some reason. Also deleted it shortly after. It was just so funny because of how random it was, lol. He talks a lot about religion, to be fair. He probably thinks that black cats are a sign of Satan. He thinks they're the fucking Antichrist. He probably thinks that walking past a black cat on the street, the mere act of walking past a black cat and having it make eye contact with you, will curse your entire family for thousands of years, your whole lineage, to go on with malaria and erectile dysfunction, and you all break your fucking left hand pinky finger. It wouldn't surprise me if that's where his mind goes with minuscule shit like this. I think the only thing that he could do that would genuinely surprise me is stay at home at 3 p.m. on a Friday. Anyway, along with telling this user that they fuck cats, he also felt it necessary to message them saying this. "No, I am not lying. I am not the schoolboy. You know that. You are a demon. Now fuck off or fool yourself." I'm guessing he meant to say kill yourself? I don't know exactly where he was going with that. Maybe he meant have a nice meal and make yourself full because I really care for you and your health. And maybe he was just being a nice guy. You know, maybe the original post was about how she skipped dinner because she's working really hard or something. You know, no one's all bad. You need to give people the benefit of the doubt in situations like these, right? Although that being said, he did come back a couple minutes later with "now fuck off, you whore." He had to come back. He had to come back and drop a banger of a follow-up insult, didn't he? Like, he was just panicking, shaking in his boots, fearful of his reputation, if you want to call it that. I called her a demon. I told her to go fuck herself. I asked her to have a nice meal really politely. It just isn't me, man. People are gonna think I'm a pussy. I just feel like I've forgotten something. Fuck! Oh, I forgot to call her a whore! I need to go back right now! And, oh, you know what? Because I missed that out, I'll tell her that she fucks cats as well. That'll restore my rep, won't it? If I don't do those things, people won't like me anymore. I'm genuinely so baffled by the idea of him telling her to fuck off, putting his phone down, eating some fish or something, then putting it back up and delivering the final blow. What a fucking oddball. Interestingly, he actually deleted all these messages though, so that makes me wonder, how much shit is he doing that we still don't know about? Because we're very lucky to have these screenshots. Most of what he does, I'm assuming, doesn't actually get screenshotted, which is why screenshots like this are relatively hard to come by. They can only really be found on this Reddit, which is private. Thank you for letting me in, by the way, whoever moderates this Reddit. I hope you don't regret your decision, but the fact that he deletes so many messages could mean a few things in my opinion, because it is interesting. I think one possibility is that he posts messages, realizes that, oh, that doesn't really look too good, and then deletes it later. But the reason I kind of feel like that one might be off is because his digital footprint is way beyond fucked. How could you do do those videos of you wanking into mirrors, the whole Smart Schoolboy 9 account, and then go, ooh, if I tell this person she fucked cats, it might affect my job opportunities in the future. It's like, I think you've exhausted all opportunities you have in the future job-wise already. Like, there's nothing you can do now that will sour that even more. So why does he delete all the messages? Maybe it's to maintain the mystique, maintain the ominous nature of his character that it originally had. Maybe he thinks that by deleting messages, people will be more interested and more quick to screenshot things like, oh shit, and I guess maybe they're more valuable to him. Although there is the third option, which I think is also possible, and that is that he is on a fuckload of drugs a lot of the time. Like, he might be mega drunk while sending all these voice messages, sending all these screenshots, and then maybe he wakes up the next morning, sobers up, regrets it, and deletes it all. I mean, let's be honest here, there's a very slim chance that this man is clean-cut, sober all day, every day. I know that's a bit presumptuous, but like, I'm just being honest here. And maybe he is. I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying that it is a real possibility, in my opinion, that he is on some sort of substance a lot of the time. Anyway, we'll do a bit of a flashback to my last video on Smart Schoolboy 9 now, where we went over one of the voice messages, one of the most peculiar voice messages, where he does about 5 different voices. It's very strange. It's not too clear what he's going for here. However, he actually has done like a genius lyrics level explanation of this voice message. I'll play the voice message first, just as a reminder, so that you guys aren't completely lost.
She's come out. Dunno. Hello? It's got a call. Oh no. I think she's scarped. Hey, Jeff, do you know where is it? Yeah. Oh, I don't know. Well, I don't know either. Dunno. Hi. Hello? I don't know. I really don't know. It's like she's sick in the head. I think it's a guy. She says Christina Parker. It could be, you know the nonce that kept texting you. Ask Jeff. Where's he gone? Ask him. Hello? Of course, obviously, you're not going to call back. I dare you. Call me back. Make a phone call. Who are you? I'll ring you. Don't worry about it.
As you can see, there's quite the variety of characters in this story. You've got weird Cockney David Hardman Builder Boy. We've got sick Victorian child Smart Schoolboy. We've got Jeff, who I don't know who Jeff is, but they mentioned Jeff. We've got Christina Parker, who's actually the girl sending these voice messages. She's the girl who posted the cat. So she's a big factor in this Reddit. She does a lot of the posting here. And if you're watching this video, Christina, I would strongly recommend you stop. Once again, it would be very hypocritical of me to say, oh, you're good, she's good to post about it or whatever and message him, but everyone else shouldn't be doing it. I don't think anybody should be messaging him. You're just fulfilling his sick fantasy. You're playing into it. That's all you're really doing here. But using the Stephanie Schooley account, David actually explained this voice message to an extent, I guess. We'll give it a look. There's different people, including a detective in his voicemail, and a boy laughing at your angry jealousy. It is really amusing that you are so fixated. I mean, I will give him that, to be fair. It is a bit weird how fixated you are on him. You're messaging him privately, you're posting about him publicly. You need to stop. You need to leave him alone, in my opinion. I'm not here to tell you what to do, but in my opinion, you should stop. But also, he's saying there's a detective in that voicemail, because if that's one thing detectives do, any good detective knows this. You always threaten the people that you're talking to and say, I dare you to call me right now, and then you call them on fucking Facebook Messenger, because that's where all detectives communicate, isn't it? MI5, FBI, that's how they all communicate. Facebook fucking Messenger. No, I actually know that gent. He says, where's he gone? That's banter, because they're friends. You have some weird fixation in people when they tell you no. No means no. I guess this one's a bit more of a subtle self-projection, where he's calling the person that he's talking to a predator in some way or another. There's different variations, you know. Sometimes he just straight up says, fuck off, you're a predator, leave me alone. And sometimes he goes, don't you understand that no means no? Because if there's one person that I trust to give lessons in morality, it's the man who has made simulated CP for the last 8 fucking months. Or not even, he's been doing it since 1999, apparently, at least. I honestly think to be a great upstanding member of society who changes the world for the better, if you did everything the opposite of what David did, you could achieve that pretty fucking easily, in my opinion. Anyway, there's also been a new video released of Smart Schoolboy 9, and you know what, it's rather touching. I give him a lot of shit, but this video, it does tug on the heartstrings a bit, and it delivers a really heartwarming message, so we'll give it a watch.
Hello, I'm the real
Smart Schoolboy 9. I'm a real child.
You fucking Pinocchio? Because that's what real children say. Hello, my name is Child, and the reason why my name is Child is because I am, actually, contrary to popular belief, in fact, a child.
A school pupil. But you've been told lies about me. So, those are my latest video clips and photos of me at school. It's the year 2024. It's December of the year 2024. Back in the year 2022, in September, I was at school with other children.
Why is there just a picture of a random sunset on a beach? The toys I get, like, that's what kids use. Although even, to be fair, for a 10-year-old, I feel like even 10-year-olds have outgrown those types of toys. Like what, you put the circle thing in the square hole? Oh, fuck, I fucked it! 10-year-olds know what a fucking circle is. Maybe he just looked up school and put the first thing that he could find on it, but why is there a beach there? I don't get it. These videos, there's like subliminal messaging in them. I'm not smart enough, that's what it is. You could genuinely put these videos in like a university level English literature course, and people would still not be able to derive any fucking meaning from it. Which I understand is because there is no meaning in them to begin with. There's no real messaging here, it's just him fucking with us, but you know how English students are, they'll find meaning out of anything. Even they would be completely stumped looking at this shit.
Majesty Queen Elizabeth II had passed away. Now, people have various opinions about people, famous or not so famous, once they have passed away. And there are plenty of things said about famous or not so famous people alive. And many of those things that are said about them are not true. But would you hate someone that you'd only heard false rumors about? Would you hate someone because you don't like the way they look? I'm sure you wouldn't, but you'll be surprised how much hate there is in the world. But when love comes first, hate is no longer top of the agenda. But love, when it is king, it shall rule forever.
I don't even know what to say about what we just watched. What the fuck was that? I don't know if it was scripted or if he was just winging it, because if he was winging it, my god, how can you provide and produce such Shakespearean dialogue just off the cuff? All I'm gonna say is I think we found the leaked king's speech for the end of this year. If Smart Schoolboy 9 doesn't replace the royal family for the end of the year Christmas speech that we get in the UK, I will be sorely, sorely disappointed, because my god, was this a real heartwarming, intellectually, I guess, challenging video. Anyway, you'll never believe it, there's another fucking new video as well. He's pumping these out. He's on a consistent schedule right now. I respect that. Smart Schoolboy 9 is more consistent than 90% of actual YouTubers.
Hello, I'm Smart Schoolboy 9. I'm a proper schoolboy. I'm a child.
Oh, I guess that clears it up then. So for everyone who's been saying that he's not a real child, he's actually an adult, he's David, pretending to be a child, there you go. That is undeniable proof that he is a real school child. He's cleared it up for all of us. I appreciate that. Hopefully that silences all the doubters.
But you've been told lies about me. I cannot say much more at the moment, but I am indeed a proper schoolboy. I'm safe. I go to school. So, do not worry.
Is he being fucking held hostage? Well, I don't understand. Why is he making these videos? Is he just clawing at relevancy now? He really is like a fucking YouTuber, I guess.
Hello there, fake profile. You've described yourself to me. I don't know you.
So for this one, I can't even see any messages to him before he sent this voice message. Is he messaging people
out of his own accord, just random accounts who he thinks might know about the Smart Schoolboy shit? Because if he is, that's like a whole other level of deranged, attention-seeking, weird behavior. Imagine not knowing anything about this situation and just getting a voice message from David London talking about this weird shit.
Obviously, you have some interest in the smarty schoolboy. He's age 9 or 10. I'm not the boy. I'm sorry to disappoint you, but you have to be told that time and time again.
Yeah, he's taking the piss now. He sounds like Joe Weller when he does his funny voice. I don't know if my American audience will know who Joe Weller is. I guess he sounds like Jim Carrey. He sounds like Jim Carrey doing a funny voice. A funny voice, just to be clear. Like, no one talks like that seriously. No one does an impersonation like that and expects people to believe it. He's taking the piss here, in my opinion. You need to be told that I'm not a real boy time and time again. Who is falling for this shit?
And, behave yourself. Control your urges. Control your lusts. And then you'll have a result of peace in your life. Because inquiring about a young boy and then calling me names isn't really good, is it?
He was on a roll there. He was really delivering some philosophical Soren Kierkegaard level bollocks there. He was talking about one must learn to control their urges. Control your lust and you will find yourself with inner peace, with the peace you need to sustain a village. Because doing what you are doing now, not only are you spreading hate, inquiring me about little boys is just, and then he starts to lose it. He goes, it's just not very, it's not good, is it? See, if I was him, I would have done a second take there. He's not got a lot of artistic integrity now, does he? Which is shocking, considering how much of a masterpiece those collages were. I probably shouldn't say that, actually, considering what's on them, but you know what I mean.
Isn't really good, is it? For your overall, well-being, your mental health that you need to take care of and seek a doctor, seek help, because I can't help you. I don't want any contact with you at all. Jerry,
he's so sassy, isn't he? I mentioned this in my last video. He's like Dammy Edna. He sounds like the world's creepiest fucking version of Winnie the Pooh. I love Winnie the Pooh. I should buy a Winnie the Pooh plush, actually, and put it in the background of these videos. I forgot how much I loved him until I just mentioned him there. Thank you, Smart Schoolboy9, for sounding like Winnie the Pooh and reminding me of my love for the series. But you know what it is? I've just clocked this, because once again, I've mentioned this, but no one's messaged him in this one. He has sent the first message here. So you can hear him go, "You have described yourself as," and then he stops because he realizes, oh shit, that doesn't really work here because he's not messaged me. So then he switches the story up. This really needed a second take, David.
Hello there, fake profile. You've described yourself to me. I don't know you. Obviously...
You see what I mean? He goes, you have described yourself at... fuck, no, he hasn't described himself as anything. I don't know you, but I think you should just, be a little bit careful. Once again, I have no idea what he's trying to do here, but it's just another weird fucking thing that he does.
No, to answer your question, no, I'm not the young smart schoolboy. He a genuine school pupil. He does go to school. There were predators that he had rejected. That's all I know, all I can say. So different people are confirming that he's a real, genuine young boy. A bit weird, yeah, for sure. But no, it's not me. No. Sorry.
Poor lad's been going to school for like 30 years now. I guess he got held back a couple of years. He didn't get good enough grades. Maybe Smart Schoolboy9 is actually just a really elaborate, incredible advertisement for revising. Because if you don't revise, if you're a student in school who doesn't do the revision that it takes to get your assignments done on time and do well in your tests, you're going to get held back year after year and end up just like Smart Schoolboy9. If you don't revise, you'll get held back and end up an old fat wanker in Milton Keynes who gets bricks thrown at their house regularly and lives with a bunch of people who hate to be around you because you cosplay as a fucking school child, paint your face white, and bloat your lips red like the fucking deranged loser that you are, always have been, and always will be. If you don't revise in school, you are destined to live with people who are gonna have to witness you do all that shit. Normal employed people who probably want you dead. And your only source of entertainment in life, the one thing that gets you going, the one thing you wake up for 4 in the morning is getting pissed drunk and sending weird voice messages to randoms on the internet and telling people that they shag cats. What a truly wonderful life you lead, David. I can see why you're giving so many people such great advice. Like, I would say 90% of the people that actually message David think that they're fucking Batman because they sent a Facebook message to someone. And then they act like, oh my god, I messaged Smartschoolboy9 and confronted him because I'm such a hero. Like, no, you've got a savior complex, and you knew what was gonna happen. Don't act surprised when he starts self-projecting and calling you the predator for messaging him and calling him one. He does it to everyone. It's the most common thing ever. It's like going, ooh, I ate a banana, and wouldn't you know it, it tastes like a fucking banana! Ooh, guys, I beat some eggs, put it in a pan, and then flipped it a couple times, and somehow I ended up with an omelette. You're nowhere near as cool as you think you are. All you're doing is putting yourself in unnecessary danger and possible legal troubles. I'm being deadly fucking serious. Don't message him. Please. You're not Batman, you're not Sherlock Holmes, you're just a plonker.
I realise that I'm communicating with a grotesque spirit, but I'm protected, you know, I'm sanctified, I'm in Christ and of Christ. I don't need to lie about anything. Today's the Sabbath day. I'm happy, okay? So you are a very unhappy spirit, okay? You just need to lay low and wait your turn, because the military knows, Trump knows, God knows, and they're closing in on you. It's over.
This is what I mean. People messaging him, fat old man, the both of you. You're balding, David. Like, ooh, you think this is some sick burn, do you? Fuck off. You're so lame. You're all so fucking goddamn lame. Genuinely annoying. I know I'm being a bit mean. I don't mean to, because most of these people, we'll be honest here, most of them are children who think that they're doing something interesting. I guess for their sake, I shouldn't be calling them idiots or whatever, because that doesn't really change people's minds, just attacking them. But I'm being serious, like, you shouldn't message him, and I know I keep saying it, I know I sound like a broken record, but I really can't emphasize how important it is, and how much I genuinely mean it. Don't message Smartschoolboy9. Do not attempt to communicate with David London. Anybody who you might think be associated with this, don't talk to them, man. It's that fucking simple. Also, Smartschoolboy9 being a Trump supporter, like he says in that voice message, might genuinely be the least surprising thing I've ever heard this year. I wonder if Trump is a Smartschoolboy9 supporter. I'm just saying, I think I've found a potential shoe-in for the next head of the United States Department of Education. Now, there's one very obvious question that we're all thinking, and I don't even need to say it because we're all thinking it. For me to say what everyone is inevitably thinking right now would just be, you know, redundant. It would. I'm not here to insult your intelligence. You know what I mean? Like, I know we all have this same question, and luckily, after waiting on bated breath for all of these months, David has finally answered the one question on everybody's mind. Are you guys fucking ready? You might want to brace for impact here, because this is huge. This changes everything. To answer your question, I like any quality cakes. And just like that, the Smartschoolboy9 case gets that much more depraved. This is without doubt the worst, most incriminating thing, most surprising thing that we have learned about this man. And for those wondering, my favorite cake is a carrot cake. But it has to be a good one. Carrot cake's one of them ones where it's difficult to get it right. And a bad carrot cake is one of the worst cakes about. Like, a bad cheesecake is probably still okay. But a bad carrot cake, mate. You give me a bad carrot cake, I will never talk to you again. Okay, so here's a really weird one where he goes on one of his big spiels about religion and multiverses or whatever. I'll read the thing for you now. Hi, John. 2 years ago, I created a comedy character of a fictional boy at school, but only for maybe 11 people on Instagram. It was a separate account. The other account was for my lyrics, music, and sketches only. But then, in July, a reel emerged, but from another reality. The boy in that reel and video clips is another version of me. That may sound unusual, but I had in the past discussed other realities with a nice girl that I was acquainted with. She could sometimes be controlling, but we did have loads of fun. I won't mention her by name, but I say nice things about her on my Facebook. She left showbiz in her late teens because of things she knew about the biz. Digressing a bit, sorry. Before July 2024, I received odd feedback on Instagram, which I had another phone, suggesting that she'd been in at least one other reality. Then I was sent clips of the other version of me, but I have no children and I hadn't made my former partner pregnant. The boy in the clips is about age 9 or 10, very pale. I should just say, on numerous occasions when playing that character, albeit with a bit of makeup on my face, and mixing or editing the videos, there'd be a vibe of another reality. I am of sound mind, so I know what's real and what I experienced. Now, To me and you, regular fucking people, it's pretty clear what he's doing here. He's bullshitting, trying to stir something up because he's bored and trying to fuck with people. Whether or not he's actually of sound mind, I can't say for sure. I think, depending on your definition of sound mind, he is. Like, he knows right from wrong, he understands the reality of what he's doing, but he is mentally ill to a point where he's fucking with people. He's got some sort of thing going on there, but he's not a nutter. Like, he knows right from wrong, and he is deliberately choosing to be a fucking weird prick. But the reason why I'm so worked up about this is because all this thing about other realities and multiverses, this obvious bullshit that he's talking about, the Reddit, the fucking Smart Schoolboy 9 Reddit that's private, is buying into some of it. Like, the title of this one is, I doubt this is true, but what are your thoughts? What do you mean you doubt this is true? Because that implies that there is a morsel of you that thinks what he is saying is possibly actually correct, and there is actually a girl in like another fucking universe who he is trying to replicate or whatever the fuck he's saying. This account is really him. The person hacked into his brother's account and managed to impersonate him in order to trick David into spitting important information. This message is legit. It's been proven. What the fuck are we doing here? Like, what are we actually talking about here? It's the most obvious bollocks in the world. Anybody with half a fucking brain cell can tell that he's chatting shit. This isn't Marvel. This is not Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse, Smart Schoolboy 9 into the Smart Schoolboy 9 verse. There's no multiple realities. He's just a fucking he's just a weirdo. He's just a weirdo who's chatting shit. I keep screaming. I'm so upset. I'm gonna chill out. I'll chill out. What's the next thing we're looking at?
So like, what about like Moreland Road, right? The park area. Also like in the 1970s, because I don't know much about it. It's not far from school law.
Honest and realistic practical discussion sketch about racism. Why is discussion in quotation marks? Is it because there's one person doing a bunch of voices? All material and voices by Tasteful Entertainment Guy. I guess that's his thing. It'll be like an adjective and then a verb, like two verbs, I guess. Like you got Smart Schoolboy, Tasteful Entertainment Guy. It's a classic trend, a classic trope, a classic through line that he uses very successfully, in my opinion.
Well, most of the team leaders back in the 1970s and 80s were black gentlemen. If you're talking sport, if you're talking arts, if you're talking playing dominoes, if you're talking being creative with various, like learning, like embroidery. How many people know that black boys were learning embroidery? You never hear about things like that. It was a safe place to go. I would have recommended that to anyone who thought that Brixton youths were just rioting and doing all kinds of foolishness, which wasn't so.
He sounds like a half Jamaican, half Scottish bloke shitting his fucking liver out. It sounds awful. Can you pick between the average Ned from Aberdeen and the black kid in Brixton? Because those two people never intertwine. Like, there is no chance of those crossing over. That's like a Batman Scooby-Doo crossover. What can I say, man? I guess David's just a proper rude boy.
Many people try to make predictions, and sometimes it's all about ego, not about accuracy. Not trying to help you see. Sometimes people will make predictions, and it's all about themselves. It's all about self, and ego, and accuracy. Why, they never meet, because with predictions, you have got to be neat. When I don't make predictions, I just sort of get along. I don't even know what day it is, but I think I'm gonna try. Why, that's what I mean by ego. That's what I mean by self. You've gotta put that to one side and leave it on the shelf.
What a fucking weird back catalogue of media that this guy has, whether it be songs, acting, monologues. It's just a very strange... I don't know what he's trying to do here. I don't know what his goal has been this whole time. Like, is it just a hobby for him? Was it just something that he kept in a back catalogue, he put it publicly, and whoever's seen it? Or was he always trying to become like a weird pseudo-horror celebrity of sorts? Was he ever a normal kid? I'm just so curious. There's so many questions about this man that I would genuinely love to know. Like, when he lives a normal life, or what, like day to day, outside of the internet, is he relatively normal? Like, does he speak to people normally? Does he go to the cashier, request the change, buy a fucking milk, buy some cereal, eat milk and cereal like a normal person? Or does he do some psychopathic shit like, I don't know, orange juice and cereal? This sounds like a monologue that Joker gives you at the start of an Arkham Asylum game. I feel bad making this video to an extent because usually you click on commentary videos looking for answers, like you want to hear the story. But you're gonna leave this video with more questions than answers at this rate, because I definitely have more questions going into it than coming out, because I definitely have more questions coming out of this video than going into it.
45's that turn 45's that turn 45 this year. Bob Seger and the Silver Bullet Band and Two Boy Army, 3 Degrees and Shed 69, they all made the top 40. 45's that turn 45 this year. Ooh, yeah, yeah. 45's that turn 45 this year. 2024. Elton John, Linda Ronstadt, Peaches and Herb and Squeeze.
The song's 2 minutes long. I will not subject you to having to listen to the whole thing, but I will say the fact that this is his least disturbing song, I think says a lot about his character. By the way, I want to take this time to apologize because when I mentioned the Running Tram song, I think in my second video about Smart Schoolboy 9, I talked about how it was definitely him saying lich and not lime, but upon further listening, he does say lime, but there's like an ad-lib where it's like she liked it and it makes it sound like he says liche.
I think I like a little lemon and lime.
The only reason I'm apologizing for it is because I did come across very matter-of-fact and a bit like a knob when I asserted it so confidently, so my bad, I'll take that one on the chin. But another thing I found really interesting about this song is one of the comments on the Reddit. It is some guy who commented, "If I ever run into him, this will be his last song." That is the edgiest, most intimidating, scary comment. I hope I don't run into him because, I mean, he does sound like a scary old boy, doesn't he? I mean, unironically, anyone who comments this type of thing on fucking Reddit, I don't fancy your chances against Smart Schoolboy 9. He's a big boy. He'd probably fucking batter you. And just to be clear, I think the average man would absolutely kill David in a fight. But anybody who's willing to comment something like that on Reddit, I don't fancy your chances, mate. I'm sorry. It's just a little bit cringe, isn't it?
So, hi there, this is David London. This is the brand new Top 4.
So that's interesting because it is David saying his name, his full name, David London, in the Smart Schoolboy 9 voice. And I'm guessing this video is from way before the whole thing became as big of a viral sensation as it eventually has become. And if you look at the text, it's hoping that my very versatile voice could attract voiceover opportunities. So part of me does genuinely believe that at some point in time, he was genuinely looking to get into voice acting, whether it be some sort of small role on the internet somewhere on like an animation channel, or whether he had big plans for it or whatever. I don't know for sure, but I do genuinely believe that at some point he did have aspirations of being a voice actor to whatever level he was, you know, aspiring to be. Because nowadays he would never admit himself to be David London with that voice. Like whenever he says he's David, he goes all Cockney or Newcastle, one of the two. Same thing really. But there's consistency errors here, David, which I'm sure he'll be disappointed in because he's a real lyricist. He loves Shakespeare. He loves stories, the art of storytelling, and I'm sure he'll regret saying this because now every time he messages people, like voice messages people saying, "No, I am not who you think I am," we can just show this to him and it just proves them wrong, doesn't it? Because I believed him up until this point. Up until I saw this very compelling piece of evidence, I thought he was telling the complete truth. You're drunk, alone, no wife, no kids, a poor job, but you can be helped. So I know people are beginning to sound a bit like a broken record in terms of saying that he is projecting his insecurities, projecting what he is onto other people. But this is by far the most blatant, clear, almost sad example of it, because David is in fact alone, no wife, and has no kids. I mean, I don't doubt that for sure. There's no way that David London has a wife, kids, and isn't alone all the fucking time. Who would want to hang out with this bloke willingly? A poor job. So I guess maybe he does have some kind of job. I wouldn't be shocked if he's lying about that though, because, I mean, he just gives off unemployed vibes. I don't know if that's like I don't know, controversial to say. I feel like I'm pretty safe in making that assumption that he's unemployed. I don't know anybody who is employed that acts like this. I don't know anybody unemployed that acts like this either, to be fair. But the "you're drunk" bit is also interesting. We were talking about this earlier. It is possible that he just gets fucking as far away from sober as he possibly can using whatever resources he has and just goes mental on the internet for however long it lasts. And then when he regrets it, when he comes to his senses, whatever his senses are, he just deletes everything. I think after this message, it is pretty safe to say that at the very least, alcohol is involved.
I've just told you I'm not the smart schoolboy. That is a proper young boy with plenty of cream on his face as a young kid who grassed up, snitched on predators and pedophiles like you. And that's why he got so much harassment.
Cream on his face? I don't know what he's talking about there. Is that like some weird way of saying, oh, your hand got caught in the cookie jar, but he's innuendoed it to an insanely perverted, weird, creepy degree? It's nothing new for Smart Schoolboy 9, I guess. Like, this is the least of our worries, realistically. I mean, I'm looking at the comment thread on this fucking Reddit post, and it just really goes to show the type of people who respond and talk to Smart Schoolboy 9, actively go out of their way to try and communicate with him. They're never self-aware or decent people from the looks of things. They're just these weird pricks with savior complexes or children who don't know any better. So it's weird because when someone does message him, it's just two people who absolutely adore getting attention by any means necessary, interacting with each other. It's almost interesting the results that come out of something like that.
No, that is not what I meant. You offered me to show them without a top and I simply agreed to that. I think it was very clever that you only have to show them if you are fully...
Okay, I was gonna say something about what was actually going on there or what he's talking about, but I think this sounds AI generated. I'll play it again.
I think it was very clever.
Yeah, that's AI. There's no way that's real. No one's voice does that. No one's mic does that. This is AI generated. There is someone on this fucking Reddit posting AI generated voice messages of David to get attention, to get Reddit upvotes. You fucking loser. What are you doing with your... Seriously, take a good long hard look at yourself in the mirror, touch some grass, and ask yourself, why are you fucking doing this for Reddit upvotes of all things, man? The least valuable type of clout on the internet. There is no reason to do this. Yeah, I've listened to it again. That is clearly AI. You fucking weirdo. You're probably watching this video as well. Why? Just why?
Hi there, Kian. I don't know if that's your real name. It probably isn't because you're a criminal. Now, you've described yourself as a pedophile. You keep making... the same mistake, asking about the smart schoolboy.
This is honestly getting old at this point. Like, I don't know what else there is to say about messages like this. I don't know why people are still shocked when they receive messages like this. This is like if you helicoptered your dick in front of a crocodile and then ended up surprised when you realize 1 minute later, oh no, I have no dick anymore. As much as that would suck, as much as truly that would be awful and I would not envy anybody in that position, I would not feel sorry for somebody who did that because you were dumb enough to shove your dick in a crocodile's face. What did you expect it to do? David London is like the crocodile in this situation, and people messaging him are the ones helicoptering their dick in front of him. There is only one outcome here, but for some reason the Reddit still eats this up. They still respond as though this is new, breakthrough information that's never been seen before, and all it does is continues the cycle. It perpetuates this notion that it's a good idea to message Smart Schoolboy 9 when it's not.
He's age 8, 9 or 10. I promise you that I'm not the smart schoolboy. He hasn't done anything wrong, neither have I. All that happened was that a fake link was made, so people start mistaking a stranger, me, as being someone else. And then you come on to me, and you come on to young children, and that's pedophilia. Why don't you get help? You should be getting some sort of proper help, not texting and messaging and whatever, you know? Just get some help. For goodness sake, for yourself.
I think it says a lot that none of these people ever show the messages that they sent to him, just the responses that he gives them. Not that anything they would say justifies him responding in such a way, but I just think it's weird because for people who are this self-aggrandizing, have this much of a fucking ego, have this much of a savior complex, you'd think they would show what they're messaging him, but maybe even they're embarrassed about it because they realize how fucking pathetic they look. Like in the small amount of this message that we can see, for like a split second he shows a bit more of of it, he goes, ha 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 ha, no fucking way, you absolute pervert. You're pushing 70 years old, David. 70! It's time to grow up and stop with the weird. And then I'm guessing he carries on in that sort of vein. Once again, everyone who messages him in this sort of manner, they're all the fucking same weird people. You're not cool, man. You're not cool or funny. You're just weird and pathetic. Stop doing it. You think this is some sick own, but you don't understand. He has you on strings, not the other way round.
Love, 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 love.
I guess John Lennon isn't dead after all. You are a lying liar who lies and is... I've not even read the rest of it yet, but I mean, just from the start. Real convincing here, David, mate. Texting and sending exposed pictures to innocent individuals. You are whorish and untalentful. Ha ha ha, calling me whorish, but you secretly like seeing a... You can't fool anyone. Okay, so this has taken a very dark turn that I genuinely was not expecting at all. Like, I've come here, I've sat down, we're having a bit of a laugh because he is ridiculous and it is funny to laugh at his stupid shit. But I have constantly reiterated in this video that it is not a good idea to message him because it's just fucking awful. It puts yourself in unnecessary potential danger. Even if nothing happens, the very risk of it happening makes it not worth it to message him. But if this is what I think it is, then this truly has taken a turn for the worse and it's not to be joked about here. From what I'm getting here, somebody has sent David a nude picture of themselves. I'm hoping that it's a, you know, someone of age. Either which way, it's fucking grim, but if it's someone underage, then this is beyond grim. It's criminal. Yeah, calling me a whore turns you on, doesn't it? You're so embarrassing, I swear to God. After telling you I'm a minor, yeah, you are done, buddy. And then that text conversation we've just seen, the nude I send. Okay, so somebody has sent him a nude. Can't fool anyone, talking about your own fantasies to me, disgusting scum. Don't show me pictures of a young girl. Okay, I'm not even going to show the rest of that message. I've read it out, but I'm not showing the rest of it because it actually makes me want to vomit. Okay, there is one voice message I could find of him talking about it. The girl told him, I just expected you to delete it, obviously talking about the nude that she sent, to which David responded with this.
You are the one who came up with showing me or exposing image. I never forced it. I complimented it. So what's the point in calling me out as being a pedophile? I said, your look perfectly shaped. It was just a compliment.
Okay, so this is when I really need to step in here and talk about just how important it is that you don't message him. This is why I keep repeating it throughout the video, by the way, because just saying it once, saying it in all my other videos, apparently that's not enough. Apparently people just don't take it fucking seriously. They think I'm just saying it for the sake of saying it. I'm being deadly serious. Like, I'm not joking at all. There is no hint of irony when I say that it is never a good idea to message him about anything unless you are literally a police officer or something of the sort. Why is this a thing that people are doing? I'm being deadly serious here. I'm not joking at all. You all need to stop. This is probably the most serious you guys will ever see me on camera. So serious that I'm genuinely a little bit uncomfortable being this real on camera, if that makes sense. But a lot of people who are interested in this Smart Schoolboy 9 shit watch these videos, and now that I know stuff like this is going on, from what I've gathered, a minor, a 17-year-old girl, has sent an actual nude of themselves to Smart Schoolboy 9. Judging from the views that I get on these Smart Schoolboy 9 videos, that girl's probably watching this video right here. And a lot of people who might be considering doing the same thing also might be watching this video. I'm begging you, seriously, don't even fucking think about it. I'm not here to simply tell you that what you did was silly or stupid, because it was silly, but it's done. What's done is done, and you can't go back and change it. I'm just saying this because I don't want you to make a similar mistake in the future, especially to someone like David. Because what you're doing, and I'm sure you don't know this is what you're doing, but what you are doing is possession and distribution of CP. Because yes, while 17 is legal in the UK in terms of age of consent laws, for pornography laws, it definitely is not legal in the UK. And pictures like the one that you have sent to David supposedly do in fact unfortunately count as CP. They fall under that category. Yes, even if it is of yourself because you are underage. Whether or not it is you doesn't actually really make any difference in regards to like the legality of the whole thing. I don't think any fucker should be messaging David, but especially if you're under 18, don't even think about it, man. I shouldn't need to be telling anyone this, but it's not acceptable what either side is doing here. Especially him, because the kid's being a kid, I understand that. I don't know what circumstances they're in, I don't know what brought them to do something like that. It was a stupid thing to do, and and I can only hope that they don't do anything of the sort ever again. But with all that being said, David is a 60-year-old man here, and for as much as there was almost like a covert simulated CP thing he had going on, where there was nothing overtly illegal that the police could properly catch him out on, this is completely different. This is genuinely, and I'm not joking here, I'm not being coy, I'm not being ironic, this is the most incriminating thing that Smart Schoolboy 9 has ever done on the internet that we know of. He has received actual CP from an actual child, if what we're seeing is true. There is a chance, because there's no proof that, you know, there's lies being told here, she might not actually be that age, whatever, right? We don't know for sure. But if what we are seeing is in fact what it is, David has received actual CP. Now, obviously, he can't control what gets sent to him, but he absolutely can control how he responds to it. The only appropriate response here would be to immediately delete it and block the sender and never contact them again. However, instead, what David has done is kept it and sent a voice note of himself complimenting the sender on the picture that they sent, the CP that they sent. It honestly does not feel right to continue this video knowing this. The original plan for this video was just to scroll through this whole Reddit and see what we've missed out on, but now that I've seen this, I genuinely would not feel comfortable going through more of the Reddit. I feel like, I don't know, to move on to a funny voice message or something from here would sort of discount the seriousness of what I've just spoken about, so I'll end it on that because it is the bit that I mean the most. Do not message Smart Schoolboy 9. I would say that Smart Schoolboy 9 is back, but that would actually be a lie, because the truth is, he never really left. What really happened is that people kind of just got bored because he had deleted the main social media accounts that got him so popular to begin with. Additionally, the pseudo-sleuths and armchair detectives weren't really getting anywhere with their faux investigations anymore. Everything we had to know about this guy was found out. But he's been here. He's been here ever since my last video on him around a year ago now. So needless to say, there's a lot to cover, and today we're going to go over everything that we know about David Stansfield, that's his real name, and what he's done in 2025. Before watching this, I would strongly recommend that you have a look at my other Smart Schoolboy 9 videos if you have no idea what we're talking about right now. Small chance of you actually being one of those people who's never heard of him, but I'll throw it out there just in case. I'll also be releasing a wee compilation on the second channel of all of my Smart Schoolboy 9 videos, edited down to a bit more of a convenient time and pace. That way you can really get the full up-to-date story, so keep an eye out for that, it will be out soon. But above all else, be sure to subscribe to the channel. I'm sure a lot of you are subscribed from those original videos on Smart Schoolboy 9, but if you're not one of those people, then get on it now, you can become one. We'll start with some accounts that are linked to David's Facebook account, which of course the actual Facebook account is a whole topic within itself. Okay, so I'll show them all to you now, starting with this one. All of these accounts have the trend where they are very similar to the OG Smart Schoolboy 9 account. It's all sort of posing as young people. You know, whether it be boys, girls, just people who are still in school and are very young. The obvious theme is that none of these people are actually that young, and there's a lot of speculation as to whether or not a lot of these accounts are run by David himself. The way all these accounts are found are from various Smart Schoolboy 9 centered Facebook groups, which absolutely do have David in them, sometimes through multiple aliases, but again, we'll get into all that soon. But we'll start with this, right, because there is an important point to be made about all this. So you got Ella Mead here first, and then you've got Nicole Madison. This one's a lot more obvious and it's sort of fakery, but as you can see, it's using the very obvious sort of AI weird style that David is so in love with. There's another one here, a girl called Anastasia, supposedly, with a whole sort of collage edited sort of thing. Again, very similar to what David does. And also in David fashion, you got some really pretentious sort of poetically written, I say in quotation marks, speech over there. Another one here, Masha Schooley, which is just a super obvious one. I think that's a My Little Pony character is the profile picture there, and you can see one of their posts, I love David, with a school and a backpack. This one I feel is a lot more likely to just be some deranged weirdo online who wants to be involved in the whole thing and troll like a sicko. And then here's another Facebook account directly linked to David. Now there are dozens of these, and a lot of people almost, I suppose, justify these accounts' existences by saying, well, they're obviously troll accounts, right? People just sort of trolling David, or parodies, right? Making fun of the whole situation. And as much as some of them might be that, when there's this many, like, let's be totally real with ourselves, a lot of these accounts are people who have similar interests to David and are, you know, doing the same thing that he is. There's a fine line between some weirdo troll with no life and a genuine 50-year-old fucking creep. That's why I'm not really a fan of any of these accounts' creation, to be honest with you. Like, there will never be a parody account of Smart Schoolboy 9 made and me go, oh,
fucking unreal bit of comedy, that one. Ultimately, at like his most pathetic moments, he's a bit of a bumbling buffoon. Like in one of my last videos, we covered a bunch of voice messages that he was sending. He just went on a fucking like mental breakdown mode. And some of those voice messages were like, they made him a lot less scary, if that makes sense. Like he was super disturbing for that first month or two when he was about. And don't get me wrong, he's still a scary individual, but not in the same way that he was before. He's scary in that he doesn't really have any limits. Like the dude was living in a shared living arrangement with other people and coming into the home dressed like that, making videos. Like imagine having Smart Schoolboy 9 as your fucking roommate. Some people didn't need to imagine it because they were living it. I'm just like really deep that for a second. It's insane. There'll be some footage on screen of like some of those older videos where he's just prancing about in his fucking uniform. It's like, this is what some people had to live with. You know what? This is actually getting super nostalgic because now I'm being reminded of how many idiots try to like contact these accounts and expose them or chat shit to them or troll them. It's like, you know, you're nowhere near as smart or clever or funny as you think you are. So you got this account here, again, very obviously fake. Hi, my name is Crystal. I'm 11 years old. Account monitored by mum. This is of course on the Reddit again, which the Reddit has, you know, provided a lot of good bits of information, but it's also home of so many fucking idiots. The title is The Degenerate Spoke to Me. And the screenshots just seem to be like this fucking cyber sleuth having like an actual conversation with the lassie. I say lassie, it's definitely not a lassie on the other end of these messages. I'm not even going to show these on screen for too long. Naz just flashed them up. If you want to read it, it's totally fine. I wouldn't recommend it. It's boring as fuck. It's not interesting at all. It's just some idiot contacting these people because it makes them feel cool and investigative. We really need to backtrack and flash back to those older videos I made and the guy. My rhetoric has not changed at all. Stop fucking contacting these accounts. No good will come from it. There is... I really don't know how to stress it enough. There is nothing good that will come from messaging these accounts. Whether it is the real Smart Schoolboy 9, David Stansfield, or just some random fucking troll, or another miscellaneous 50-year-old fucking creep, nothing good will come from this. At best, you're wasting your time, and at worst, you end up sending genuine CP to them, which happened in my last video on Smart Schoolboy 9. If I remember correctly, during one of these, like, messages here, someone sent a genuine, like, I guess explicit image of themselves to David Stansfield. Only issue being that the person who sent said image was 17 years old, and just because it's a picture of yourself, it doesn't make it not CP. And David, he didn't fucking delete it, because of course he didn't. He's Smart Schoolboy 9. Now, luckily, I don't think this image was ever made public, because if it was, then that would be a real criminal, like, jailable offense for David. And he's been quite good at just sort of skirting around the law as much as maybe I don't think he should have been able to. Like a fine, at least, man. The way he's been let off scot-free completely is mental. But either way, let that be a little story as to why you shouldn't be talking to these fucking freaks, especially if you're a minor. Fuck me. Okay, here's a Stephanie Schooley Facebook account that was super popular for a time, but this got taken down. And here's the thing. This is the thing that I do think is good about the Reddit, is that it is a genuine form of video or post preservation. As corny as that sounds, is like all of these accounts have been taken down at some point. The original Smart Schoolboy 9 accounts have been taken down at some point, but they all live on through YouTube videos and the Reddit, and because a lot of the YouTube videos are sort of based on the Reddit or Reddit, a lot of the Reddits get taken down as well, to be fair, so it's not the best, but, you know, they are preserved through other Reddits. I mean, the internet truly is forever. But yeah, this account here, without doubt, is genuinely David Stansfield. Like, to a T, it looks exactly like something that he would make and has made. And see, this is the reason why this is all so disturbing, is that that's a real fucking child in that video. You can't see their face. Doesn't mean David can. Like, he's cropped it a little bit, but that's a real child in that video. And there are plenty of other videos where the face isn't cropped out. Like, you can straight up see real children in a lot of these videos, and there's a lot of theorizing because a lot of these faces seem to be well-known on the internet, in fact. Well-known in the worst ways. I mean well-known as in they have been seen in certain Telegram group chats, and that's all you should really know. And if you don't know what a Telegram group chat with a child on it implies, then that's probably for the best. But yeah, you can definitely still see that David has this Stephanie Schooley alias on the line still. This is February 21st of this year, still doing the exact same thing that made him so infamous. And this is also the thing, it's like, this is not a guy who's going to rehabilitate or just chuck his fetishes in the bin. Like, this is the same guy who's been into this for fucking decades now. There's no sign of it ever stopping. I think that initial just push of fame and people shitting on him scared him. He shat the bed, he deleted his original social media account, the one that, like the OG one, but then he clocked, there's nothing that can really be done. I'm going to continue doing this. And the fact that people are watching and not able to do anything is almost making that thrill even sicker and more fulfilling, if that makes sense. Like any sick fucking genuine freak's biggest dream game is everyone knowing that it's them, that they're the ones doing it, but not being able to do anything about it. They've even taken the TikTok, by the way. I'm not sure, again, this is a TikTok that was eventually deleted, but preserved through Reddit. I don't know if David himself is on TikTok. I think there is more of a chance with the TikToks at least that it's like some fucking random cosplaying as Smart Schoolboy 9 and just sort of ripping videos from Google Drives and Reddits and YouTube Shorts and stuff and then plopping them on TikTok, putting one of them as a profile picture and then using some generic sort of bio stuff from his Facebook post or something. It's not really hard to impersonate someone like David, but that could be totally wrong, man. I wouldn't be surprised if he is genuinely on these TikToks, like the one running them. This one actually is still up though, and fuck me, man, like it really is disturbing. Like this video, for example, which we'll probably have to blur. Yeah, okay, see, this is what I mean, right? Like, this is not the real Smart Schoolboy 9. He's not making fucking fan edits of himself. That's some weirdo who's made a fan edit and maybe it was ripped and put on this TikTok. I don't think this is actually him here. It's just a young boy who's hung himself, and he's holding 2 bits of bread, it looks like. Again, that's probably just a video ripped from some creepy corner of the internet. Can people stop impersonating this fucking bloke and on TikTok? How is this TikTok still up, man? What's super weird about this TikTok, for example, is that you got a bunch of comments here. Yes, girl, slay, from lyricist David. So there's like a whole community of these Smart Schoolboy 9 impersonator accounts. Oh no, this one openly says that it's an archive. So why would you be posting comments like that? But yeah, look, if you need more proof that I think a lot of these are fake, then here's another Stephanie Schooltime account. There's probably hundreds of these. Yep, he's still got this mini boots thing going on. Okay, now that was all almost playtime, because now here's where we get into the big boy shit. It starts with a Reddit user, so not too convincing so far, telling a story about how their friend met David Stansfield at the doctor's office. And this could be some random bullshit story. I've had a bunch of them message to me, and a bunch of them are like obvious fucking lies. But for this one in particular, there is an actual like recorded bit of evidence that David was at this hospital. And once you take a look at it, it becomes very unlikely, in fact, that it wasn't him. Like, it really does sound and feel as though David was actually at this fucking hospital out and about. We'll get into this story real quick, right? Citing, and I swear to God, I'm not lying. Look, it very well might not have been him, and I'm fully aware of this. However, my friend spam messaged me yesterday telling me that she was waiting in a hospital in Mitcham, and in the waiting room was a man with a striking likeness to Smart Schoolboy 9. I fully thought she was lying to me until she sent me a voice message in which you can hear him talking in the background, and it again sounded very familiar to the voice in the videos. However, obviously with a lower inflection, as he wasn't doing the whole schoolboy thing. Obviously, you're going to want to hear this recording after that message, so here you go.
If I knew what team it was, then I'd be so can I speak with team and Carol Thompson?
Alright, I'm not taking the piss here, which I know a lot of people might think I am, but that second, the first one's bullshit, right? We know that, but they're not talking about the first one. Listen to that second voice come in. It sounds like fucking pitch perfect to David. Obviously not the OG videos where he's putting on the Smart Schoolboy 9 voice, but you know those voice notes that we were looking at a while back where he's just chatting normally? Well, I say normally, he's putting on a bit of an accent, but you can hear his real voice through it, and that really does sound like him. I'll play it one more time, just the second half this time.
So can I speak with team and Carol Thompson?
I really do wish that the voice message was longer, but if it is real, then we know that he's in London, I guess. What's also interesting is that this friend works at a mental health hospital, not just like a physical one, so he's not gone in for a fucking COVID test or anything. Maybe we can take some solace in the fact that he maybe is being monitored to some extent at some sort of mental health hospital. You'd hope that it's related to his activity online, but who really knows? Gotta remember as well that he looks exactly like David Stansfield, according to the girl that this person's talking about. You know, not 100% proof by any means, but it is rather compelling. Here's another sort of flashback to those OG videos. Let's not, like, take anything as definitive fucking proof unless we absolutely know about it. Or the evidence itself is, like, ridiculously compelling, because there was so much shit that people would just believe willy-nilly. Like, there are YouTubers who would get messages from people about David and just immediately believe it and parrot it on their channels with no critical thought. There's people on the Reddit who would say, oh, I met him, I found his new account or whatever, and it's just some fucking random, and everyone would believe it, and it just causes this whole shitstorm. Let's not have that happen again. This is compelling, for sure. I'm inclined to believe it, but it's not 100% true. He moves quite quickly, actually. That's fucking impressive. But like, oh man, it really is difficult. It really is easy to remember, rather, like, just how fucking deranged he is. He's in public. There's no green screen here. He's walking about like that. Also, did we ever figure out what the fuck this was? That thing he's doing with his fucking tongue. There's never been an explanation for that. He just, again, it must just be some weird niche fucking sick fetish. And then of course there's this infamous video here of him literally wanking in front of a mirror. I'm obviously not going to play it because the video itself has like the noises that he's making and everything. It's fucked up, man.
Son, what about there?
Look at the hashtags on this video, by the way. Hashtag don't flop. Don't let this one flop. You can't let a masterpiece like this one just sort of swift under the radar. What's with his camera positioning? I think he's obviously... You know what? I was gonna say he might be a bit embarrassed and doesn't want to fucking vlog the whole thing like a pretentious wee idiot. But how could you possibly accuse a man of being embarrassed of vlogging when he's out wearing that? I do think this is an old video though, so I'm not gonna act as though this is something from this year. Someone also found a really weird Instagram and eBay account where they seem to be trying to sell things, but the collages and the videos do look a little similar to Smart Schoolboy 9 and how he, you know, decorates his videos and stuff. There's a lot of high heel mini boots as well here. If you look at the comments, it's like me when I love school. Am I getting into some lore? There's a lot of people here talking about Smart Schoolboy 9 and how similar this is. Wrap it up, Smart Schoolboy 9, we know it's you. Yeah, I mean, it definitely gives off those vibes, but when you look at the actual sort of eBay here, yeah, I mean, it's the same thing. And you can see here, this is very Smart Schoolboy 9-esque. Like a really awfully edited collage with those mini boots down there. I think this is a lot more likely to just be some weird warehouse in China somewhere where they love child slavery, not being able to sell any of their clothes and using this as a last resort. I don't think Smart Schoolboy 9's actually fucking, you know, marketing all this shit. Definitely weird nonetheless. I understand why the theories are about. But like, you know, there's a whole heap of these Instagram accounts. Again, Naz, on screen right now, I'll scroll through a whole bunch of them. There's just no way that he has all these. Like, again, there's a lot of fucking weird creeps either impersonating him or are very similar to him in terms of their overt interest in mini boots or children, in fact, at worst. And a lot of people who just like that sick thrill of maybe they like being thought of as someone who might be him. They get some sort of sick thrill out of that or scaring people. A lot of these are undoubtedly 50-year-old creeps, but just not David himself. Like, yeah, look at here, and like Smart Schoolboy, this is fucking mental. Like, there's so many of them. There's no one in the world who is able to convince me all of these are David fucking Stansfield. And again, this is a fucking fraction of infinity. Those words won't do you justice type shit. Okay, now let's actually have a look at the David London Facebook account, which needless to say has had a lot of changes done to it since my last video on him. As you can see, the name is still David London, but we know that's not his actual name. It's David Stansfield. It's not David Alter, which a lot of people have been calling him. I mentioned this in one of my videos, but like, anyone who genuinely believed that the guy's real name was David Alter because a bunch of TikTok comments said it and he said that his name was David Alter, I think that it was incredibly silly. And I think that's another just sort of aspect of misinformation, how easy it is to spread on the internet and how easy it is for people to just not think critically. Like, the name David Alter is clearly a fucking alter. He's not Usain Bolt. He doesn't just have a weirdly specific or coincidental surname. No, he was clearly going by David Alter because Smart Schoolboy 9 is, in one way or another, an alter ego, and he's clearly one of these weird sort of pretentious poetic twats who thinks of shit in that way. Like, he looks at the world through the lens of alter egos and like and postmodernism and all this shit. Like, he probably thinks he's some intellectual. But no, the guy's real name is David it's not David London either. That's another alter, I guess. But we do know that this is his actual Facebook account. And the new bio does mention Smart Schoolboy 9 as well as being scammed, winning despite being scammed in 2024 elsewhere, the same time as a now famous young Schoolboy 9 was. And he's making posts as recently as November. This is him driving to Maybe I'm Amazed by Paul McCartney, which sucks because I hate that he has almost good music taste. But as you can see, collage-wise, editing-wise, very similar to Smart Schoolboy 9 because, well, he is. Obviously, I can't play the video because it's copyrighted, but yeah, imagine Paul McCartney behind it. But never mind, I think we do need to play a little bit of it because he's actually voice-overed his own lyrics over it. In this video I made, I'm singing upon one of the greatest ever guitar solos, specifically Maybe I'm Amazed by Sir Paul McCartney. Hopefully my vocals complement the guitar solo in this live recording. I created some basic lyrics and they are, you know what, I'm not even going to say them. I'm going to play the video and let's see if you can fucking decipher what he's saying here. Okay, I'm so glad we actually played that video and didn't just sort of skim by it, because holy shit. I mean, if you needed any evidence that this was, in fact, David Stansfield / Smartschoolboy9, then there you fucking have it. And that was November, by the way, of this year. That was less than a month ago that video was posted, and looking at it now, there's no way he's actually driving that car in any of the footage. It's just, again, footage ripped from the internet and he's voice-overed it, like he does with so many videos. He used to do this thing where he would take videos inside of his school, but obviously he wasn't at the fucking school, because who would see Smartschoolboy9 dressed in all his makeup and his clothes and go, oh, yeah, come in, mate, we'll teach you Pythagoras theorem with all the kiddos. But he would record himself in like a hallway of his home, and then it would cut to a school from the shot of someone recording, right? So it would look as though he was in this school, and fucking idiots would believe that he was actually in one. He did the same thing with children running one time, where like he would record himself running, and then it would cut to children running.
Who he then proceeds to chase after, giggling all the while.
Yeah, it's very obvious to anyone who knows what they're looking at or knows anything about basic editing that he's not the actual person running after these fucking children, but it's, you know, an edit. So he likes doing these things. He's been doing it for years now. Oh, again, I guess we missed the lyrics. I'm telling you, darling, that life is so good. I'm telling you, darling, that it's pretty. I'm telling you, darling, that life is so good. Life is so good, girl. You are a pretty girl. You're a pretty girl. You're pretty. And life is excellent. Don't force it. I don't know what the weird wind sound effects were, but who fucking cares at this point, man? There are some more really creepy videos, like this one, for example, where it's like just straight up a Smartschoolboy9 video with, again, real children in the bastard video. I'll get to that one in a bit, but in chronological order, we'll start with this one where he talks about his girlfriend. Well, you know, his girlfriend. Since writing this, I have successfully asked a girl with whom I had a relationship between 2001 and 2007-ish to pretend to not knowing me, or to even say, oh, he was sometimes silly, but nothing too unflattering. Honestly, she, as a former child actor, and I knew and know a lot of famous people now in witness protection. We would continue to be asked every now and then about who they are. Neither she nor I will ever reveal who they are. They are, you'll be relieved to know, good people. The girl I refer to and I were told back in 2003 that we should one day consider saying that we had never met each other, should the disingenuous people asking us or others who knew or know too many questions continue. That is strategy and honesty, humorous aspects allowed. I don't do boring, I don't do dullard. We're not going to read this whole thing, you get the idea. Now there is a chance, here's the thing, there are two possibilities here. One, this is a real story and he's just fucking venting on his, on his Facebook, because he knows that there are thousands of people now who are going to read it, which definitely, you know, helps him in some way or another. I say helps. It has a different effect than it would if it was just, you know, to one or two people. Or two, he's just writing a bunch of bullshit, possibly even using AI just to write a bunch of bullshit to maybe throw people off or confuse them. It is definitely something he's done before when people message him. Yeah, he just, you know, sort of takes the piss, in my opinion. You know, and he knows there are a lot of, like, pseudo-psychologists online who are going to try to fucking psychoanalyze this bullshit, so it might just be fun to him. There is one post here about being lied about, and this is interesting because there's a chance that he could maybe be speculating or talking about some of the, I guess, supposed lies about Smartschoolboy9 and him, but then he says that this was years ago, so again, it could just be sort of throwing people off the scent or taking the piss once again, like me sitting here talking about it, theorizing, could be exactly what he wants. Like, he could be watching this video and fucking loving it. There's also a post here where he discusses his youthful appearance. I had an unusual and amusing conversation with someone very recently. He not only mistook me for someone else, a vast age difference, he then lied to me about resemblances and tried to fool me into playing along with the notion, possibly something of a thrill for him. Maybe he was playing the role of one of his Eliases, hoping that I might say that I myself even have time for that. See, again, 100%, he's a big fan of Eliases, alters, that sort of thing. It's clear as day here. He also does this thing where he projects a lot, so when people message him, he'll say shit like, you're clearly an old man pretending to be a young boy, and fucking loving it. Like, oh, you're clearly wanking as you message me, because he's probably doing the same thing. Like, when people message him and he pretends to be this young kid, calling them a, you know, a predator or whatever, he's getting some sort of sexual thrill out of that, without a doubt. But now let's go over that really strange video that features Princess Charlotte. Again, you know, an actual child. And he he says that he hopes his vocals portray his awe and admiration. This is what I mean, like he really did never leave. He's been right under our fucking noses doing the exact same shit the whole time. Maybe he's not simulating as much CP, but still not great. There's another video here featuring Princess Charlotte. He seems to have a weird obsession with this girl, which isn't surprising at all. We'll sort of divert away from his direct post now from the David London account and talk about interactions with him and other accounts that very well may be him. Most notably, there's an account called Lindsay Lane that's been going fucking crazy on Facebook. So here's someone on the 8th of December, again, this month, talking about how David was banned from a library, citing this comment here as proof. When I worked at the Doncaster Library years ago, he used to send up letters with strange requests as he wasn't allowed on the internet. He also wasn't allowed in the library itself. Apparently, it was usually a thing. They had me handle it once. It was very creepy, asking for a picture of a celebrity children and directions to clothing stores for children. Turns out he believes that he's a small child, but who knows what is actually going on. This was around 9 years ago, though. It being 9 years ago does not make it any less unlikely. There are various stories on Facebook accounts detailing people who look exactly like Smart Schoolboy 9, and very probably were Smart Schoolboy 9, like decades ago. I think 16 years ago one of them was. Talking about how they seen him in Tesco, and like they described him to a T. Okay, so here's a TikTok I just found. Ignore this fucking bloke in the middle of it, but I can't find the original post. If you want to read it, then go ahead. I've read it before on this channel, but yeah, it's just, this is from years ago. What's the exact date? Is that 2019 maybe? I don't sound about right though. It might actually be 1999 or something like that. You can't see the rest of it, but I remember it being in the 90s. Like I really do remember it being in the 90s, this story. So not even 16 years ago, probably more than that. But anyway, on this post, you have Lindsay Lane saying, David did not have internet at home, and he is not the person mentioned by the anonymous person. No library staff are even permitted to lie about customers. And again, that is an account called Lindsay Lane. You got this one out here, David Stansfield, which is an obvious fake in my opinion. Lindsay's obviously getting accused of being David himself, so she makes posts like this. Everyone is probably aware that Athena McLaughlin has numerous aliases and has falsely stated that David, who is not even on this page, is me, Lindsay. Do not believe such a blatant lie. Athena themselves said, no, I don't have numerous aliases, I only have a couple, so you do have numerous aliases? I don't fucking know what that whole thing's about. The point is, Lindsay is pissed. I'm pretty comfortable saying that this isn't a fucking real woman called Lindsay Lane. Is it David himself? Who really knows? But that's not it though, there is a lot more. This here is Lindsay saying that she's gonna take legal action against these people for slandering her on a Facebook group chat with like 5 likes. Here's an anonymous poster telling David to stop contacting a girl called Keely. And again, Lindsay is in the comments yelling his defenses. An impersonator contacted David first. He knew it was not the real person for various reasons. The fact is she and David knew years ago how to know if it were really them. You got her arguing here, but this is information that obviously she would not know as a third party. Like for her to know that this is absolutely true, she would probably have to be David himself. So again, the evidence is rather compelling, but then at the same time, why would he just sort of be giving it up like this? It might just sort of be some sick thrill, a bit more roleplay on his end, or total bullshit from some anonymous fucking freak pretending to be David once again. Or more specifically, pretending to be David, pretending to be a woman known as Lindsay Lane. Which I know sounds contrived, but is very fucking believable. Like, there are hundreds of people that would genuinely do such a thing and commit to it this much as well. Just because it's a bit contrived doesn't make it any less believable in my opinion. But all these people are fucking eating it up. Like, I probably would not even fucking bother responding to these people. There's no point. As though Lindsay one day is gonna go, oh, yeah, you're right, it's me, David. Here's another story here regarding Smart Schoolboy 9 in the 90s. Now, with stories like this, I tend to not believe them at all because, one, they were posted after the whole thing became such a huge craze and so viral. And when you combine that with there not being any fucking evidence for the story being true at all, it makes it very difficult to believe. There are hundreds of these stories being thrown about the internet and you just cannot believe all of them because undeniably, most of them are bullshit from people who just want a bit of attention. The reason why I believe that Tesco story so much is because it was made in the fucking 90s. There's no reason for someone to really lie about that and get the description so close to what he actually looks like in the videos unless it was actually a thing that happened because the story was not viral at all. No one knew who this fucking guy was. There was no reason to lie about him for clout or fame or, you know, a bit of like 5 minutes. The only reason you would make a post like that Facebook one in the 90s, I keep calling it a Facebook post. Facebook wasn't a thing in the 90s. It's not a Facebook post. It's some sort of post somewhere in like a chat room or something, you know what I mean? But there are tons of these stories. Here's 3 right here from people telling similar stories about Smart Schoolboy 9 or David Stansfield. I'll read one of them, not all of them, but they're all on screen right now. David Walter Alter, he stalked me, found photos of me in his flat when I was a child, ended up in court, let him off as his mental health, the man's a wrongin'. Again, I don't believe it because David Walter Alter, fuck off, that's not his name. That's not his name's not David Alter. If you went to court with him, you'd probably probably fucking know that. He'd also probably have some fucking evidence of it all. These screenshots here are from a video by a creator known as It's Rootster, who made a video on Smart Schoolboy 9 recently. Just to give credit, here is his channel right here. So if you're feeling up to it, go show him some love. You got this lady here known as Sophie Claire, who's talking about how David's deleting a bunch of messages, and by David, she is referring to Lindsay Lane. She sort of details what these messages include, but I think it's best to just look at the messages themselves, and bearing in mind that these are all deleted now. This is them denying that Smart Schoolboy 9 and David Stansfield are the same person. I'm not going to read this one because there's some quite flowery language, but it's very, very bad. So yeah, he's Kaioken times 10 weirdo going fucking insano style on these motherfuckers. Who, by the way, I am not like in love with. They are way too involved in this story, in fucking group chats about him, posting daily about Smart Schoolboy 9. You need to get a fucking life. You're not gonna find him. Stop talking to people you think are him. All you're doing, weirdly enough, is encouraging people to keep pretending to be him, or pretending to be him, pretending to be other people. Because you're the only you're giving it so much attention. Some random fucker on Facebook, whether they be in high school or come back home from a 9 to 5 and spend their days looking for Smart Schoolboy 9 or trying to message him online on multiple accounts. It's like, there's so many better things you could be doing with your time. This will amount to nothing. We get some more voice messages now, though, here. So that's interesting. Now, this voice note is about someone called Rashi, but it was actually sent to someone who wasn't Rashi, which is interesting for a number of reasons, but I'll play the voice note first.
Hi there. Sorry about this, Christina, but you have to pass a message on to that Rashi Campbell. I'm trying to remain calm here. Now, Rashi has said that I'm editing photos of children. That schoolboy does his own videos. As far as I know, he sends them to Veronica and to someone else for her to post. That is the arrangement. I'm not editing any photos of children. She's still lying about me. I'm getting very angry and I do not know what to do. Could you please send this message to Rashi?
So this confirms that David is in fact in and amongst these Facebook groups, looking at them probably fucking daily, probably wanking over them. Let's be so real here. He loves that these people are talking about him and hate him so much, but can't actually catch him. He loves that they think they're doing something so clever and just, when in reality they're a bunch of fucking idiots, just feeding into his delusion, feeding into exactly what he wants. And he's sending that voice message there, not genuinely trying to convince people that he isn't Smart Schoolboy 9 or he isn't editing these photos. He knows that no one is going to believe him. He's just stirring the pot. He wants reactions from these people. He loves these Facebook groups. Yet another reason why there's so many better things you could be doing with your time, because you're not even harming him. I'd say these amount to nothing. It's not nothing. It's bad. He loves this shit. And we've known this from the very fucking beginning. He loves it. He loves it when people talk about him. He loves it when people are scared of him, when people are theorizing, and they take it so seriously. He adores it. In an ideal world, there would be no Facebook group. There would be nothing. No one would acknowledge that he even exists apart from the police. Because, like I said, not only does he expect no one to believe him, but it is true. He is doing those things. He is editing pictures of actual children. In previous videos, you've seen it, man. They're like videos of children in school on websites that he just rips from the websites and puts like AI filters over. A lot of them he makes AI sort of CP over them. He puts a lot of them in like compromising positions with AI, with his collages, and it's very inappropriate. It's very scary. If you're a mother or a sibling or anything along those lines and you have a child who might have ended up in one of those collages and one of those videos and one of these fucking 6 Smart Schoolboy 9 related bits of media, you would be livid. You would be fucking irate. And that goes to everyone who's saying that it's just sort of a harmless ARG or just sort of a cosplayer or someone like a troll, basically, because there are a lot of those people coming out the woodworks now, sort of forgetting that the genesis of this whole thing is a genuinely really serious story of a sick, deranged motherfucking creep who does need to be stopped, but not like this, and not by these people. Speaking of which, there's another very similar voice message from David saying that he's not a young boy.
Hello, Rashi. How are you doing? Right. So, you're not at the police station. Well, I've just chatted with someone senior, but we think you're just messing about. You're a bit bored. It's a bank holiday weekend. You're chatting to Darren.
See, this is what I mean, man. He's just completely taking the piss. This Rashi Campbell fella has no idea what they're actually doing. They think they're uncovering something super secret here. They think they're exposing the real truth about him, but they're just a pawn. Like, they really are just a pawn in his fucking sick game. The best thing he could do is completely ignore this, leave the group chat, and fucking live a normal life, because then he'd be sat there like, I've been ignored. Like, I've thrown this bone over to them, waiting for this whole eclipse, and I've been completely fucking ignored. But no, he's been given exactly what he wants, unfortunately. It's just occurred to me now, by the way, he's definitely on these group chats as someone investigating the case. Like, if there is someone who knows suspiciously a little bit too much about him and is uncovering some crazy secrets, it could very well just be David Stansfield on another account, just talking about himself. I don't know if you guys have seen that documentary, Don't F With Cats. It's a pretty old documentary at this point. It's like a few years back. Very famous, though. And the killer, the perpetrator, is literally in the group chats giving people clues, telling people where he might be, telling people who he is, but just as someone, like, anonymous or, you know, an alias. David could very well be doing that. In fact, he probably fucking is. Like, these Facebook fuckers think they're in, like, a proper board meeting in a police station, when in reality, that board meeting has the actual criminal in a, I don't know, a Halloween outfit, and no one notices that he's there, and he's sat there going, oh yeah, I think he actually might live in London, you know? Oh, I also have this voice message from him. Get a load of this. It's like, we have no idea who any of these people... It's also a board meeting where the police have no idea who each other is. Imagine what kind of fucking police force would that be? Like, you know, a police station where no one knows anyone.
Right, we all know about him, don't we? Hey? Trying to pretend to be a young Swiss girl. Yeah, I'll just tell you this. I've told you before, I am not the young boy. Don't post photos and send them to Christina of the young boy who's face to the camera in his new video. It's a really cool video, and he's wearing some sort of summer wear in some garden. It's a nice video. It's great. It's not me, genuinely. You can tell by my voice that it's not me. He has a completely different voice. But you, Rashi Campbell, the criminal paedophile, you don't want to face facts. You want to make things up. You want to be sure that we don't make things up about you and Darren. That could put you in jail. We won't do that. We don't do that because you need mental health help, not to be locked up in some jail. You know, so get the help you need.
Oh, interesting. He actually unsent that message as it was reaching the end. Again, throwing bones, trying to be mysterious. He loves this shit, man. But again, in that voice message, you can see some sort of projection there, calling him a criminal, you know, predator. Doesn't need jail, just needs mental health help. We know that David is in the mental hospital. We don't know that, but there is a chance that he is in the mental hospital. But you can see as well, like, he knows all the names of the people in these group chats. He's really acclimated himself within the community. You know, it's not as though these people aren't doing huge things here. Like, this isn't just a light thing they've done for a few weeks. This has been all year round. These people have been posting about him. I don't know if this guy has an actual fucking job, or if he works from home, or if he's self-employed, or if he has or if he's just on benefits or some shit like that. Like, no one really knows anything about this guy, really. But whatever he is doing, he definitely spends a large portion of his time in these groups loving it. Just fucking with people. You know, most people in their spare time, maybe they play an instrument, they learn a language, they make videos, take photos or something like that. This guy doesn't do that. He makes collages of children, he makes simulated CP, and he fucks with people trying to investigate him. Again, like in that video, he doesn't genuinely expect anyone to believe that he is being truthful. When he says that the lassie in a sundress or whatever isn't actually him, but it is a very nice video, but it's not him, you can tell by his voice. Obviously, I'm presuming that the original video is them in like a fucking girl's wig or whatever with the makeup on, acting like a child, or almost pretending to pretend to be a child at this point, and putting on that really shitty sort of high-pitched voice. There's no way that David actually believes people are going to be convinced by that. He's taking the piss once again. Like, this is some carrot on a stick type shit. And you've got this top contributor, Sarah Fieldstan, who's just vehemently defending David. Smartschoolboy9 is 9 years old. David London is hero for defending these children from predators. Even if Smartschoolboy9 was 9 years old, they were 9-year-old over a year ago. So, do they age? Are they just fucking, are they like Ash Ketchum? Look at me, like, trying to actually fucking detective this shit. It's all bullshit. As soon as I read field stan, I knew it was him. You don't know fucking anything. That sounded really actually mean and vile, but it's true. You don't know anything. This is so easily just a fucking random troll pretending to be him. You don't think anyone on the internet is sick enough to make this post and pretend like to acting as though they're him so that people give them a sick thrill as well? David is not the only people with this fucking weird fetish. There are probably hundreds of thousands of people out there with it, which is a terrifying thought, but nonetheless true. Okay, we're actually going to quote directly from the It's Rooster video. There's a very interesting chapter here called Sock Puppet Accounts, where someone who is running a TikTok page where they post very, I guess, critical videos of Smart Schoolboy 9, for lack of a better word, is giving a statement, and It's Rooster does a very good job editing over this statement and making it clear what the girl is talking about. So I'll play that right now. But again, go show some love to this YouTuber. They've done a great job.
I'm gonna let Unscrupulous Person explain the sock puppet accounts and her experiences of personally dealing with David.
David has been interacting with the account, I would say, for about 5-6 months. The bigger it got, the more he interacted. Get around 10-20 comments from him a day. The two accounts that he portrays on TikTok, one of them is a Jamaican child, I believe, from the language that he chooses to use. Vicky Soul. The profile picture is Peas, which I can link to Peas, another one of his accounts. And then we've got another young school girl on the No Pervs Allowed account who he's acting as, just like his main alias, Stephanie. People ask me all the time, why after a year am I still chasing the case? And the short answer to that is, so people are aware. I just want children online to stay safe. I want families to know what's going on. People have made David a walking, talking joke, but from my point of view, if this was my kid, my sister, my brother, my niece, who is being targeted by David, you know, David was editing photos of them, I would be absolutely horrified, fucking horrified. This man is literally taking pictures from school websites, TikTok, Instagram, editing them and then posting them around like social media. You've got pictures of edited kids that are half kid, and it's like he's handing them around like it's a picture of a fucking dog. Like it's cheese pizza, it's not. Another thing that I want to talk about is Lindsay Lane on Facebook. Lindsay Lane is one of his new aliases, might I say, who he poses as on Facebook. I'm going to be honest with you, I don't really check up on the Facebook group, it's full of shit, but I have seen a few comments and posts that Lindsay Lane has made. I'm just going to finish off by saying that any other person who would be caught doing this would vanish off the face of the earth. They would not stay on social media, but this is what people need to understand. When people say to him, you're a pedophile, he enjoys that probably. That's what I think anyway. But thank you for the support, and thank you, Lyle, for letting me be in this documentary.
Again, big up to It's Rooster. We might go back to that video in a second because it is very good. And I can hear they're Scottish as well, so extra bigger. I love your country, brother. Fucking great. So Unscrupulous Person on TikTok, this is them here. You can see they published no content, which is strange. There definitely was content here before. I'm not sure if they've either been deleted or maybe TikTok is just being fucking weird because the desktop version of TikTok can be fucking ridiculous at times. But either which way, we weren't really going to look at any of the videos either. The whole point is that this is a girl who is investigating the case and trying to sort of raise awareness about the whole thing. You can see here the Vicky Soul 5 account, trying to impersonate a Jamaican child. Not even the right peas, by the way. Rice and peas is a bean, actually. But again, I'm sure that's all part of the shit stirring. And then this is the No Pervs Allowed 2 account, which is, these are the two accounts that that they were referencing here, Unscrupulous Person. Now, I don't know if this person actually has evidence that these accounts are David, or if their only evidence is that these accounts are vehemently defending him. If that is the only piece of evidence, then as much as it very well might be him, we don't know for sure. Like, you cannot say without a doubt that it is him. There are so many people out there, once again, that are very willing to impersonate David defending himself, or impersonate David pretending to not be David defending David, if that makes sense. It's a little weird, but you know what I mean. It's not a hard thing to do, and there are a lot of people who definitely get a fucking thrill out of it. You know, in the same way, like she said correctly, by the way, that when people call David a predator, he enjoys that. He's not the only one. There are so many people who also enjoy that sort of thing. Here are some of the comments that No Pervs Allowed was posting. I'm not going to read them all, of course, but there's a lot of these. Again, you got TikTokers here talking about, you realize how much of a terrible person you are. We know it's you. You're attempting to hurt and traumatize young children. Like, when you say shit like, we know it's you, they know that you think it's going to be them. They know that people think that they're David Stansfield. Which, especially, by the way, if there actually isn't David and it is some random on the internet, pretending to be David, pretending to be someone else, they are really gonna love that their plan is working to a fucking T. Okay, next is the whole Jeff saga, which is also a super interesting part of this whole thing. Also slightly covered in previous videos in the voice message section. And it's all in regards to a man known as Jeff Morrell. I'll play the video that we have seen on this channel before that mentions Jeff.
Hi. Hi.
Hello? I don't know. I really don't know. It's like she's sick in the head. I think it's a guy. She says Christina Parker. It could, you know the nonce that kept texting you. Ask Jeff. Where's he gone? Ask him. Hello? Of course, obviously, you're not going to call back. I dare you. Call me back. Make a phone call. Who are you? I'll ring you. Don't worry about it.
So interesting as well that he mentions a Christina Parker, and in videos just a month ago, he's also mentioning Christina Parker. So this fucking Christina Parker lassie has been on this shit for ages now. You really need to you have to touch grass. Like this is obsessive. It's not healthy. Even an unscrupulous person said that the fucking Facebook account is full of shit, like those Facebook group chat, and they're so right, by the way. But anyway, you can hear he mentions someone by the name of Jeff in that voice note. Now, originally, you'd be forgiven for thinking that Jeff is just some miscellaneous name that was picked once again to stir shit, to confuse people, right? To act as though there is more to this story than there actually is. But when you look at things, it becomes a bit more interesting, right? And there is a chance that he is, again, just fabricating shit or taking a story that happened a couple of years back and linking it to himself in a roundabout way when realistically he might have had nothing to do with it. But this here is a post from Stephanie Schooley. I'll read it out now. This may sound shocking to some, but if Jeff Morrell is still around, he should be given the chance to say something. What we all must bear in mind is this: we were not present when what he was accused of is said to have happened. One of my relatives was a pupil at Stockwell Manor School from 1974 to 79. At no time did he see Mr. Morrell do or say anything wrong. The only criticism would be that Mr. Morrell, when challenged by a boy, aged 12 at the time, to play wrestle, because the boy loved sport and the wrestling that was on TV in the 1970s more than anything remotely academic. Mr. Morrell should have set boundaries. Father then let the boy push and shove him, and consequently, Mr. Morrell having to restrain the boy with upper body, decent restraining only. A silly show of teacher's pride in not wanting to be humiliated by the boy could have led others to thinking that Mr. Morrell could be exploited, plus the fact that being gay back then would have been very, very difficult, even if just one or two, and then it sort of cuts off there, but you just get the idea. I think it's very important to actually learn who Jeff Morrell is, otherwise it doesn't really make much sense. You can sort of guess a little bit, but here's an article from The Independent from 2010, by the way. Teacher jailed for 1970s schoolboy sex acts. You can hear again. A teacher who sexually abused two teenage schoolboys in the 1970s was jailed for 3.5 years today. Only 3.5 years, fuck me. However, when you take David Stansfield's actual age into account, which is around 60 years old, a lot of people are speculating that that David Stansfield, aka Smart Schoolboy 9, was one of the boys that Jeff Morrell had abused back in the 1970s, which would, to an extent, help explain some of the behavior that we are seeing today. It definitely wouldn't fucking excuse it, but it would make some sense because a lot of people who are interested in this sort of thing, a lot of predators, were preyed upon themselves, and they're sort of continuing this vicious, abusive cycle. Jeff Morrell, 65, was found guilty to 12 counts of sexual assault involving two pupils aged 14 and 15, committed over a period of 2 years. Yeah, again, the ages line up. Insane, but 12 counts and only 3.5 fucking years. And like 40 years after the assault happened, by the way. Just insanity in its purest form. This was in South London, according to this article here, which is also interesting because a lot of people claim that Smart Schoolboy 9 was in Doncaster. Maybe as a child they were in London. Who really knows? Because at the end of the day, who really knows if Smart Schoolboy 9 was one of those kids? There are definitely a lot of children who were sexually assaulted in the 1970s. We don't even know if David Stansfield or Smart Schoolboy 9 was a victim in the past. Now, there is actually a little bit more evidence as to it maybe being David Stansfield, however, and this is compelling. I'll go back to the It's Rooster video because he explains it very well.
In reality, Jeff Morrell was already on record in 1984. He was convicted of an essay offence and placed on a teacher's register. The article states he'd often keep two pupils back for detention and that's where things happen behind closed doors. Back in 2019, David actually made another post referencing Jeff again, this time through an account called Zia Patel. which can actually be traced back to a real teacher who taught at Stockwell Manor School. In this post,
and this here, the Stansfield account, was in 2019, before this went viral. So you'd be forgiven for thinking, and there is quite compelling, that David does have some relation to this school where the assault took place. Which, when you look at his behavior, it increases the chances massively that he was one of those victims. And maybe this is all some weird, fucked up coping mechanism in one way or another. Like, it really does open the doors a lot. Like, this person claiming to be Zia Patel, which is a teacher that can be traced, not a coincidence, definitely not. Claims to have a friend called Stephanie Stansfield who's 12. This is all 2019. It's like either this is David himself, or David has looked or found this really niche story and made references to it over the years, hoping that people would come to the conclusion that he was one of these victims. Which is absolutely possible, by the way. Like, once again, as compelling as it is not 100% proof by any means.
in this post, they recall that their half-brother David was often publicly embarrassed and singled out by Jeff in class, and that he had never truly recovered from the experience. If those theories are true, it might give us some insight into why David so heavily fixates on school and the uniforms. But let's be
And yeah, you can see it there. This supposed Zia Patel even says that someone called David was one of these victims. Would definitely be a huge fucking coincidence for it not to be him if all of this is true. But you know, we know that David's been Smart Schoolboy 9 for decades now, so this could easily be roleplay. You know what? I don't think it can easily be roleplay, but it could be roleplay.
David so heavily fixates on school and the uniforms. But let's be very clear here. This does not excuse David's behavior over the years, and he still needs to be held accountable. To quickly add onto the Joanne Tang situation, I popped the phrase Joanne Tang into Google and was met with titles using Joanne Tang's name in disturbing video titles, claiming to be uploaded by Smart Schoolboy 9. I'm not sure if David was the person who uploaded.
Yeah, they definitely weren't. That's definitely some other sort of predator, some weird predatorial group chat. Definitely on Telegram, like I said before. Like, there are hundreds of Telegram group chats where Joanne Tang is probably being passed around, which is extra awful because Joanne Tang is a real person who has made statements before, like, regarding the whole thing. She's posted on the Reddit. I believe in my second or third video about Smart Schoolboy 9, I go over her testimony and how it's affected her. And for videos of her to be uploaded to pornographic websites, whether even if it's fucking AI, it's like, man, people who think this is just a troll or something not to be taken seriously, you're fucking idiots. And you can see David London himself here commenting that they were just play wrestling. Seems to really be defending this guy. Again, I'm not sure if this is actual real defense, like he genuinely believes it wasn't a big deal, or if he is saying this knowing that people are going to see him defending them and think that maybe it's some sort of fucking cope response. There's so many, it's very difficult to psychoanalyze the mind of a sick fucking psychopathic freak like Smart Schoolboy 9. And you've got David London here saying nothing to do with me, was never my teacher, never had any contact with him, so stop the bull. And then fucking just look at these people. James Giant Bull. David London, you definitely had some contact going on because he touched you in secret places, and someone thumbs up that. Nice post. Secret places. I love pedophilia. Don't take that out of context, by the way. And David says, you're quite a fantasist. Stay away from schools for sure. Fucking Carl. David London, I know you miss him, David. These people are freaks. These people are freaks. This is why no one likes this Facebook group chat. Even people who are deeply invested in holding him accountable fucking despise this shit because it's all a bunch of bullshit. And they're fucking losers. Like, these people are losers. You got someone here who claims to be a therapist that specializes in behavioral analysis. They give a theory about what the fuck is going on here with David. My wild card here is that David has a dissociative disorder in the form of being detached with reality. Seems David is stuck reliving a very particular age and part of life. Our brains will convince us of amazing things while trying to protect us. It's very clear David's IQ is also low. However, he is able to explain quite precisely when he wants. But those messages are usually full of delusions of grandeur, for example, saying Instagram allows other accounts from different dimensions to exist. Yeah, I don't think that is delusion. I think that's him fucking with us. My second wild card here is, what are the chances he was assaulted as a kid or lost a child and is cosplaying growing up as the child he lost? I think the chances he was assaulted as a kid are genuinely rather high. End of the day though, who even knows if this is a real fucking psychologist or therapist? It's just a Facebook account who's made that one post and is in one group, which happens to be the Smart Schoolboy 9 one. You know, you'd think maybe they'd be in some other group if they were like a like a psychologist who used Facebook, right? But no, it's just that. Seems they made that account specifically to make that post, so who fucking really knows? Again, that could easily be David himself, who just found some random fucker online and made a profile picture out of them. And at the end of the day, it doesn't really excuse anything, like at all. I guess the last thing we'll look at is one of the many speculated new channels in It's Rooster's video. I think that this is rather unconfirmed, but if he has any compelling evidence that it might genuinely be him on YouTube, then I want to hear it.
A schoolboy. I'm 9 years of age. Despite what you might have heard from perverts and those and people making fun of...
Most of these clips follow the same script of mentioning the year and month or season.
It's late summer in year 2025.
This is how chronically online I am. This is how fucking invested I was in this case back in the day. Is that I recognize all these videos. Like, these are old videos from over a year ago, like last year for sure. And these are from the YouTube channel Smartschoolboy9, which It's Rooster mentions here.
Smartschoolboy9 is David's latest active YouTube channel. He had one before that was wiped, but this one has surfaced very recently. The channel started with videos uploaded in Russian titles for some reason, but it includes content posted this year from January to as recent as November 2025.
Hi there, how are you? It is summer.
Yeah, like this like, I don't think this is him. I think this is an account that has just found really obscure videos of the situation. Because I remember this video. This video is from last year. This isn't a new account that is posting brand new videos that are never seen anywhere else. It could very easily just be a re-upload channel. By the way, this is not throwing shade at It's Rooster. I actually think he's done a fucking great job here. And I do like this video, and I've looked at his channel as well. He makes fucking great videos, so I'm not chatting shit here at all. I just disagree that you can say definitively that this is a new channel of his. It might be. It might be. He might just be re-uploading old content, but I personally would lean towards this being just one of the many people impersonating him.
But what's interesting is his latest video uploaded, which isn't a short, called This, which translates to November 1st, 2025. In this 4.5 minute of David rambling, he calls out pervs and who have been making fake documentary videos about him. He then goes on to explain that so-called experts have been experimenting in Birmingham.
And yet, almost 500 people said that they had seen that person in either of the Birminghams.
This is the first time I've ever heard of this, and honestly, it just sounds like he's made this up on the spot.
Yeah, I remember that video as well. I had a lot of people send me this when it happened, and this is actually from this year. I don't know if it's possible to trace back exactly where this video came from, but if you really can, if the first time this video was seen was on that Smartschoolboy9 account, then absolutely it is him. I think I remember the original link being, it was definitely on YouTube, but I don't know if it was on this account, because I didn't make a video on it. And this is what I really like about this video, actually, is that, like, he does provide a lot of evidence for this shit. He's not an idiot, It's Rooster. Again, definitely go show him some love.
The scammers gave a false name and age for the lyric writer, saying that he's 59, and then saying that I'm somehow 59. It's quite sick.
I absolutely agree with him, by the way, that it does sound as though he's making shit up on the spot. I think he probably is just making shit up on the spot, by the way. This is not a real story. This is not an actual concern in his life. He's just made up a weird, contrived story to get people talking about him again. I think that pretty much is all I have to talk about in this video. We can't go over every little intricate fucking detail, every post, unless I get enough demand for it, in which case, yeah, we'll talk about this case some more. But in terms of big, like, things that have happened in 2025, huge developments, that is pretty much all of it. I know a lot of you probably found out about my channel or subscribed through my initial Smartschoolboy9 videos, so hopefully you enjoyed this one as much as you remember enjoying the first couple ones. I know they're not exactly the most, you know, fun-filled, enjoyable, comedy, laughable videos in the world, but regardless, I hope you get something out of these, right, if you know what I mean, whether it be information or a laugh every now and then for levity. At the end of it all, though, I think that is the end of the video, so hopefully you all enjoyed. If you did, be sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and subscribe to the channel again, and then another time after that, because if you do it twice, it'll just unsubscribe. So 3 times, you sub, unsub, and then you sub again. That's pretty cool. But I think that's pretty much it. So yeah, I will catch you all in the next one. Bye.